now starts the Southern Maryland Guitar Guru Show, featuring Dan Harsha and Dan Allman. This week's show, we're highlighting the latest in music, life, and culture.
Through different eyes.
Yo, 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 this is Dan Harsha, and this is the Guitar Gurus, and with me always is...
Dan Allman here.
How you doing tonight, bud?
Man, I'm energized. I am excited. I'm having so much fun, man.
Same here, dude. I'm in the zone. I'm in this world. I'm ready to cast out some information.
Yes.
And deliver the show to the fans.
All right.
And you know me, man. It's the beginning of the show, and I got to do this to get it going.
Get it going. There's the money right there. There's the money.
Yeah, so now the show can start.
All right.
So, dude, last week's show. Wow, how cool was that, man?
Big.
Bradley Baker.
That was great.
Melander. That's the proper pronunciation. Melander.
That's right.
I made him our Baltimore correspondent.
Yep.
So he's up there repping the show in the Baltimore market for us.
Yeah.
And we're going to check in with him every so often. And we'll see how the Baltimore market is. So that's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I'm excited about that, you know, and hear the adventures of his band and find out what he's got going on. And it's just going to be a great relationship there.
Exactly, man. Exactly. And then Tom Mays from Outside the Wire.
Yeah. Who doesn't like Tom? Tom's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Tom's the real deal. He just plays guitar and Outside the Wire and just handles his business.
Yes, he does.
And does it with class.
Yep.
That's what's really awesome.
He's
So
a great guy.
my hat's off to Tom and all those guys and Outside the Wire. I look forward to catching them soon. And I just can't wait to catch them live again, man. So
They're good, man.
it's going to be fun, man. And, dude, what about your show? Let's talk about it.
Which one? I had a busy weekend.
But,
But I'm going to focus on the Saturday night.
sure, because I was there with you on that one.
You were there last drop and got to meet a lot of people that we've just communicated back and forth with through social media, you know, friends of the show and stuff, and actually get to sit down and talk with those people. It was a pleasure meeting all of you. I'm not going to name names. You know who you are. But we had such a great time there, meeting people and talking to people.
Oh, yeah, it was totally rad. And I didn't get to talk to everybody, but the next one I come out to, I definitely reach out more.
Yeah. It was kind of a rough night.
Yeah,
almost like a best gig, worst gig. The AC was broke.
Well, dude, I've been living that nightmare here at the compound myself. I mean, I got my two Brooklyn backups, as I call them, the old cans in the window.
That's right.
You know, you go down any Brooklyn street in New York in the summer, and that's all you see.
That's right.
Right, so I had my two Brooklyn backups just pumping, and it actually got really chilly.
Yeah.
So I kept the balance good, but my good buddy Kenny came in today.
Okay.
And handled that business. Turns out the motor went bad in the whole unit. So
All right.
the tech world later in air conditioned talk, that's like the most valuable part of the whole system.
Oh yeah.
So
It's
of course that went.
Of course it did. Yeah. It's valuable to the system, but it's also expensive.
So this is episode 32. Check your AC.
Oh, God.
So I'm tired of sweating, man.
Right.
So it's all good. I don't know. We'll see if that title holds up during the night.
We're gonna find out here in about an hour or two.
Yeah, because that thing will be cranking.
Yeah.
And we'll know for real. So
If we're stuck to the seats in 2 hours, it's not working.
you're right. Dude.
Feels pretty comfortable right now, though.
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
So my hat's off to Kenny though. Good dude. Came in here and just did his business. So dude, this week's show, oh my lord, it's insane.
It is amazing.
It's action packed. It's insane, and I think the listeners, the fans, are really gonna dig this one.
Yeah.
So of course we have our standard guest tonight. Just in a little bit, we'll be firing up the Ollie's Bar and Grill soundstage phone system to get Mr. David Higgins of the Southern Maryland Chronicle for Higgy on the Beat.
Yes.
We're going to check in with him. He's going to tell us what's fresh in Southern Maryland news and music.
Love it.
And it's going to be awesome.
Great supporter of local music.
Right. And then after that, this is the curveball of the week. We're going to get Mr. William Sanderson on the phone on the Ollie's Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk to him about everything that we can in 20 minutes with him. But he's got a book signing in Baltimore this Saturday.
Yep, we're going to get on into that.
Yep. We're going to talk about the Deadwood movie and some other things, but more importantly, he knew Elvis.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
that.
So
that's why we booked him. We want to talk about Elvis, but we're also going to talk about the other stuff too, because it's too cool not to. We would be frauds if we didn't ask him about that stuff.
That's right.
I mean, an absolute fraud, and should just never even be allowed to speak again. So we're going to do it right, but we're going to welcome him into our world, and it's going to be cool, man.
I'm so excited about this.
Yeah. So shout out to Nick for getting everything set up for us for this. So it's real cool. Real cool. And then after Mr. William Sanderson, we'll get Sean Kirkpatrick on for Sean in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
And see what's going on with him. And then we're talking this week about bad power at gigs. So this one's going to be a good one to be a part of. So definitely listen back a couple times, because he had some issues this weekend. We're going to talk about some equipment. Our good buddy Jay Shade had some power issues over the weekend. I was talking on social media with him about.
Right.
And we're just going to talk about that in his segment.
Yeah, it's great information.
And then after Sean, we're going to get our first repeat of, let's see, it's his first time back.
He's a repeat offender.
Yeah, he has the title, Mr. Dino Monoxelos, the Ampeg guy.
I always get excited over Dino's time here with us. It's so great.
I know, dude. We're going to geek out with him in the bass world.
I love bass love. Bass love.
Right, we're going to get a Summer NAMM preview.
Yeah.
So that's the gear part. Check in with his trips overseas. And just chin around, chat with him real quick.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun. He's looking forward to it. Been emailing him back and forth, so he's excited. I'm excited. You're excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's going to be awesome. And then after Dino, I mean, this show this is a mega show, you know?
This is a mega show.
So in the evening off, we're going to get a local builder repair guy, Andrew McSpadden from McSpadden Guitars. He came highly recommended from David Cornwell. So if David recommends a dude, you know they're good.
You know.
I just know he's good. So we're going to talk to him and get his background, because his background's pretty cool.
Right.
So I posted it out there. Check the social media, read about it. And I'm not going to elaborate anymore. It's out there, but his background's cool, and he has his rightful place in the market.
Absolutely.
So we're going to check in and support it and see what we can do for him. And then that's the show, man. Dude, that's awesome, man.
It's a hell of a show.
Dude, episode 32. Wow.
Who would have thought, man?
I know. It's really cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the show's grown leaps and bounds since Dino's been on last.
Yeah.
So it'd be fun to bring him up to speed a little bit, too.
Right.
But this is cool.
It's just, I'm amazed with it. And we say this every week. We're never going to stop saying it. Thank you.
Exactly.
The support is amazing.
Right. And not to be outdone, we still have to squeeze in the for Tuesday shoutouts, the Spoons Barbecue meal review, and the Island Music Guitar of the Week.
That's right. Take care of our sponsors.
Right, which is that Richie Coates and Telecaster, man. Man,
that thing was
that
beautiful.
dude's awesome, dude. He played in Poison and Mr. Big, man.
Oh yeah,
just bringing it home, man.
He's got a hell of a background.
Yeah, so that was an awesome guitar this week. So, dude, it's action packed. Everybody, grab your drinks, crack them, pop some ollies, and
Would you have one with us?
Yes. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hope everyone. I should be able to hear that outside right now. Everyone opened them at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. So, dude, let's just dive right into the show. We'll get the Ollie's Bar and Grill soundstage phone system cranking, and we'll get Higgy on the beat going.
Let's go.
Soothing tones.
That's right. Southern Maryland Chronicle, brought to you by the Southern Maryland Chronicle.
It's ringing, man. It's ringing. Come on, Higgy.
The Ollie's Bar and Grill soundstage phone system.
This is Higgy. What's jamming?
Hey, Higgy, it's Dan. We're in the studio. We're live. We're doing the show. I got Dan Albin here. Dan Albin, say hi to Higgy.
Higgy, happy times, man. How are you?
Not bad. What's going on, buddy?
We're fired up over here, man. We're full of energy tonight.
You were popping something more than Ollie's, weren't you?
Ha, ha, ha. Yeah. We'll talk off the record later.
Right. Dude, we got an exciting show, man. We got William Sanderson, Dino Monoxelos, Andrew McSpadden, Sean in 60 Seconds. It's just going to be a cranking night, man.
I was looking at that schedule. What are you guys going national now?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Didn't you know that? Special announcement. We've gone national.
Nah, not yet, dude. We're just two lucky guys just doing everything right, man.
That's awesome, guys. That's awesome.
Cool, dude. Well, let's jump right into it because we're running tight tonight. So does this go, man? What's in the music?
Good evening, Southern Maryland. I'm Dave Higgins for Higgy on the Beat, coming to you live from the Southern Maryland Chronicle newsroom. This weekend looks to be absolutely gorgeous. There's always a chance of rain during the summer because of the heat and humidity. It's going to be hot, but right now it's just looking absolutely gorgeous. So let's get started with your 10-ounce 12-pack sampler of what's on tap this weekend in Southern Maryland. Friday at 5:30, you got Sumner Hutchinson at the Lighthouse Dock Bar in Solomons. 7 p.m., you got Bradley Turner Band out of the LaPlata Town Hall Concert Series. 9 p.m., you got the 81 Run down at Ape Hangers Bar and Grill in Belle Alton. And at 9:30, you got Vinyl Rhino at Gilligan's Pier in Newburgh. If you don't know who Vinyl Rhino is, this group will play music across the spectrum: pop, dance, rock, rap, even country. They are just as likely to play Miley Cyrus and Bruno Mars as they are to cover Lady Antebellum and Rage Against the Machine.
Nice.
Wow, there you go.
So, good party show there. On Saturday, over at the Perigo Vineyard and Winery in St. Leonard, you got Gru's Fan Duo. At 6 p.m. at Vera's Beach Club in Leslie, you got Bumpin' Uglies and Squid Ink. If you don't know who Bumpin' Uglies is, they are a ska punk reggae band, and Squid Ink is a reggae rock band. At 8 p.m. at Toots in Hollywood, you got 3 Days of Rain. And at 9 p.m. at Gilligan's, you got Trilogy. On Sunday at Running Hare, you got Matt Glass at 1 p.m. At 2 p.m., Port of Leonardtown Winery, you got Kathy O'Rourke. At 3 p.m., the Seabreeze Tiki Bar, you got Stars and Bars. And at 4 p.m., Last Drop Country Bar, you got Wally Ivanov. And that's your 10-ounce 12-pack sampler. Be sure to check out the entire local music schedule, which is released Thursdays at 5 on SouthernMarylandChronicle.com and shortly thereafter on Facebook.
Wow, dude. Southern Maryland's not disappointing this weekend at all, man. There's just exciting shows all over the place. And go for it, Higgy. What's up?
Yeah, it gets better every week. We're getting that summer vibe going on.
Yep.
You know, everything's open now. There's big festivals everywhere. There's outdoor events. You know, it's everywhere.
I got you, man. Well, dude, I implore everybody to check the Chronicle out on Thursdays when the full schedule comes out because it is jam-packed and it might sway your decision on some shows. So check it and just recheck it. And then our episode goes live that night too at 8. So it's a double tap.
But make a decision to get out and see a show. Please do that.
Yes, get out and support local music.
Gotcha. So what's going on in the news this week, man?
All right, coming up this week, the commissioners of St. Mary's County have announced their next public forum, Tuesday, July 9th at 6:30. If you're going to complain about your government on Facebook, get to the public forum and speak out directly. These forums are held in the meeting room at the Chesapeake Building in Leonardtown. And if individuals that are wishing to speak will be allowed up to 3 minutes to address the commissioners, and those representing a group will be allotted 5 minutes. If you wish to provide more detailed comments, you can do so by regular email or regular mail. You can find all those addresses on the website.
Right. So for all the keyboard warriors out there, go down there. We want to see you.
Here's your chance. And the other counties also do it. Charles County does it. The majority of the time, it's the individual commissioners go to their districts and hold town hall style meetings. Calvert County, I'm not sure when their next one is. I believe they just had one. But if you're going to complain on Facebook or you want to get involved in your government, this is how you do it. You go down to these public forums and you speak. You get a couple minutes to talk.
Right. That's cool, man. That's an awesome story, Higgy, man. Let's just share the hell out of that on Facebook.
Yeah. All right. This past week was the 29th annual Maryland Envirothon. It's an outdoor natural resources competition for high school students across the state. Approximately 1,000 students from 15 counties in Maryland took part at St. Mary's College in Southern Maryland this week. The Calvert High School team won, the 5-member team, and they were the only team to score over 400 points out of a possible 500. They scored 418. The members of the top 3 teams were awarded scholarships ranging from 200 to 500 through the Maryland Grain Producers Utilization Board Scholarship. In addition, the winning member team received a wildlife print, a Maryland Envirothon shirt, and other prizes. This past week, James Christian of Bryant Road, Maryland, was indicted for the May 31st, 2018 negligent manslaughter of auto, homicide by auto under the influence of a controlled substance, homicide by auto under the influence of drugs, 3 counts of second-degree assault, driving while impaired. This steps into several other charges. This steps back to a crash that happened on May 31st of 2018, where he was high on PCP and went to pass another car doing 109 in a 50 zone.
Oh.
He clipped the back end of the car. The car spun. The other car ended up catching fire, and 18-year-old Destiny Lyles of Waldorf was actually killed in that crash.
Wow, that's
So he was just indicted the other day for that. Basically, I couldn't even imagine how much time he's facing right now, but between the being on the drugs and the, extreme reckless driving.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. That's nuts.
Big story out of Mechanicsville this week. If you are from St. Mary's County, you live in the northern half, you know of Tidewater Pharmacy. It's been around Southern Maryland for 46 years, family-owned, one of those smart pharmacies where you didn't go just to get medicine, you went to get, some household products, little gifts, candies, things like that. They are going to be closing July 12th, and CVS is going to be taking over on July 15th. I've heard what the owner has to say. I'm actually going to speak to him this week also to get some more information, but it basically boils down to it's time for him to retire.
Yeah.
I remember growing up with this. This is where we got all our medicine from. My family still gets their medicine from there. So, it's sad to see one of these family-owned businesses, going and, a big corporate place coming in.
Right. Well, at least they'll keep the location there for convenience.
Yeah. The entire staff, from what I understand, is going to be staying.
Okay.
So you're still going to see all the same people in there. Everything's just kind of transferring over under the CVS. We'll see how it goes.
Right.
All right.
That's kind of cool.
So, coming up this week in your events, on Saturday at 10 to 3 is the second annual Antique Bike Show at the Hughesville All-American Harley. Saturday from 11 to 8 at the Charles County Fairgrounds is the Islands in the Park Caribbean Food, Wine, and Beer Festival. Saturday from 12 to 5 is Drink Maryland at downtown North Beach. They're all kind of craft food, craft beers, all that great stuff.
Right.
On Saturday 5 to 10 is the Hollywood Volunteer Fire Department and Birch Oil Annual Independence Day celebration. If you ever go to this, you know how bad traffic gets jacked up around there. There's all kinds of roadblocks. I'll be putting that up to Friday morning. So everybody just get on there and check that out. You'll see where the roadblocks are going to be, and so you know how to get around.
Right. Cool.
Saturday from 5:30 to 10 is the second annual fireworks show at Running Hare Vineyards. On Sunday at the Beanery in Leonardtown from 8 to 11 is Southern Maryland Cars and Coffee. And Sunday from 11 to 6 is the Maryland Food Truck Festival, and that's actually at the Bowie Bay Sox Stadium in PG County. I thought I'd throw that in there because food trucks you can never go wrong with.
Right.
So summertime's in full event swing now. Be sure to check out the Chronicle's local event schedule, posted every Thursday morning at 8. I add new events as I find them or I'm made aware of them. If I can't be everywhere, so if you attend a Southern Maryland event, would like to send us some photos, we'll see if we can get them out published for you.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
now for the comic relief. I'm not sure how much of a comic relief it is again this week. It's Maryland sports seems to do pretty well.
All right.
Outside of the Orioles.
Right.
Orioles are sitting at 22-56, 28 games back, and 1-9 in the last 10. Basically, the season's about seeing who's going to be on this team next year. They're going to play the Indians this weekend.
It's
The
like
Nats.
they're literally a full month behind.
Yeah, I know. They're more games back than they've won.
Wow.
Okay, Nats are sitting at 37-46, 14 and a half games back. They are on a 6-4 out of their last 10. They're kind of up and down the last 2 weeks. We'll wait to see what happens going into and coming out of the All-Star break. The Nats are going to play the Tigers this weekend.
Okay.
The Blue Crabs are no longer in last place. At 21-37, they sit back 10 games behind and have been playing good ball. They're going to play the Barnstormers in Lancaster this weekend.
All right.
Bay Sox went into the midseason break on a winning streak. If you don't know, the AA, they play a half. Their seasons are separated into 2 mini seasons. So they just started their second half of the season. All the records reset.
Oh wow! Okay.
So they went on a 2-game. They ended the season on a 2-game winning streak. They started this second half of the season on a 4-game winning streak before losing 2, and now sit at 4-2 in second place. They're going to play Akron this weekend.
All right.
Over at women's soccer, the Spirit played to a 0-0 draw against the Dash on Saturday, keeping them in first place at 5-3-1 and 18 points. The Spirit are going to play the North Carolina Courage Saturday at 7 p.m. The United States women's national team beat Spain on penalty kicks Monday afternoon to advance to the 2009 FIFA Women's World Cup quarterfinals against host team France. In all fairness, the American women looked flat and nothing like the team that crushed in the first stage. However, Spain was over-aggressive. Knees, elbows, trips cost them 2 Megan Rapinoe penalty kicks. Hopefully Alex Morgan and the rest of the United States women's national team get it together before Friday. And this is the most anticipated matchup of the World Cup. Tickets are already going for $12,000.
Wow, dude! Hey, and we got to be on the lookout because the refs are going to be on not on our side that night either.
Yeah, I watched the game Monday, and it's literally like I know Megan Rapinoe was in a headlock once. Alex Morgan got kicked, tripped, punched, and not a single yellow card didn't come out till almost the end of the match.
Right, it was bullshit, man.
Of course.
So, hopefully, the refs change their tune a little bit. I hate to see a game that is poorly officiated.
Yeah.
Because these players don't deserve that, especially with these women, as much as they've had to go through to try and get the respect that they deserve with soccer and in the world, to let poor officiating ruin a game. If you get beat, you get beat. But if it's because the referees are not making calls, it takes away from the game, takes away from the experience.
Yep.
Yeah, they need to be held accountable, but everyone's got money in their pocket and greased hands, so what are you going to do?
All right, DC United, the men in black and red sit in third place at 7-6-4 after losing to New York City Football Club 2-1 on Wednesday. United has 2 games this week, one on Wednesday against Orlando City and Saturday against Toronto FC. Valor and the Brigade played this week in the Arena Football League. The Valor defeated the Brigade 42-35 on a last-second touchdown. Both of them sit in second place at 5-4. The Valor's going to play Atlantic City Saturday night. Brigade's going to play Columbus Friday. Over in the NFL with the Redskins, Alex Smith discussed his progress this week. He said at the beginning was really rough, but lately he's been walking and playing golf. He's even been on the practice field with the team throwing balls, but the mobility is still not there and an issue for him. And he hopes that the fixator on his leg is going to come off in the next 4 to 6 weeks. For now, he says he's just focused on playing with his kids and recovering.
Like he should, man. That's insane. I wouldn't even try it, man. I'd be like,
I would just stop right there.
He's a football player. He's got it in his blood. He doesn't want to stop.
I know, but
football team to the north, the Ravens. The Ravens got younger this offseason, and in doing so appear the defending AFC North champions have put themselves in a good position for success for now and years to come. It's a golden age for the Ravens right now, says Ravens wire Matthew Stevens. They were a playoff team last year and are looking to build on that success both immediately and long-term with their core young talent. The Ravens are stacked with talent at or under 25 years old. 2019 NBA draft this week, the Wizards selected number 9 in the first round. They selected Gonzaga forward, hope I pronounced this right, Rua Hachimura on Thursday night in Brooklyn. The Wizards found a versatile big man who's going to be able to contribute to the NBA level immediately. They also made history with Hachimura being the first Japanese-born player to be selected in the first round of the NBA draft.
Yeah, it's cool, dude. There was like a gaggle of Japanese reporters everywhere, man.
It's a big thing, man. It's a big deal.
Over there, dude, he's like a hero already, man.
Yep.
Yes, yeah.
It's cool.
All right, and finally in Capitals news, lots of news from the ice this week from the former Stanley Cup champions. Earlier this week, Brooks Orpik retired after 15 seasons. Orpik was with the Pens in 2009 when they won their cup, and then he followed by being with the Caps in 2018. We thank you, Brooks Orpik, for all the years that you placed with the Caps.
Yep.
The Caps also had the draft this week, and for the first time in nearly 5 years, they had a first-round pick. The Caps selected OHL's Connor McMichael from the London Knights. Former Caps great Dale Hunter is the bench boss for the Knights. Hockey News ranked McMichael as the 24th best prospect in the 2019 draft. Also on Tuesday, the Caps announced their 2019-2020 schedule. They will open up the season against the Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues on October 2nd. The Caps' home opener is October 5th against the Hurricanes. A couple games of note this year, the Caps are going to face the Islanders in a New Year's Eve matinee, and they will host the Pittsburgh Penguins on Super Bowl Sunday. And that's your Southern Maryland news for this week.
Yo, man.
That's awesome.
That's the way to end
Caps
that
and
segment.
pens on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah. That's good.
Can't beat that.
Now, what? Yeah, man, as long as it comes on before that game.
Well, that game might be bullshit.
Right, yeah. Good call.
Especially if it's the Patriots and Brady again. Boo.
Exactly, dude.
Who cares about that shit anymore?
Higgy, man, you're just putting in the work, brother. Really proud of everything you got going on over there at the Chronicle, man. The new website.
Thank you very much.
The new website is fabulous, dude. It is so fast, man.
I'm tweaking it like crazy right now. There's still more speed I can get out of it.
That's awesome, man, dude. It's just so cool to see your site grow, man. I'm so happy to have you a part of our program, man. It's really cool.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man. Well, dude, tell people how to get a hold of you.
All right, you can get a hold of us for your tips of what's going on in your community at tips@southernmarylandchronicle.com. And as always, follow the Chronicle on Facebook at facebook.com/SOMD Chronicle, or you can go to www.southernmarylandchronicle.com for all your local, state, regional news, weather, and sports. And I will see you guys next week.
Thanks, Higgy,
All
man.
right, buddy. Have a good week, man.
Have a good one.
All right, man. Peace.
Bye.
See ya.
There it is.
There it is. Higgy on the beat.
Dude, he's the man, dude.
Dude, he works hard, man.
Dude, he does, man. Dude, he just delivers the news, and there's no BS with it. It's the news.
It's the news.
He's not adding he's never once said, well, I think this should happen. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, dude. He's like, this is where it is. You go there.
Yeah.
Right. I want to see how many of the Facebook keyboard warriors show up to that town hall.
None.
None, because they probably don't have gas money to get there.
Their mom won't take them.
You're right. Mom, why won't you take me?
You're 38. You should have a car by now.
You don't even pay taxes.
Right. But that would be a great thing if people actually did show up and speak their voices in person.
But do it respectful.
And, just have an intelligent conversation.
Right, don't go in there hooping and hollering because
Right.
you just get thrown out. And then it just wastes your time.
It's great.
Well, dude, we knocked out that Spoon's Barbecue. Provided the meal tonight. Rib feast.
Perfect.
It was fantastic.
As you can see in the picture,
And yeah, the picture's out there. People are reacting.
we're spoiled.
We are spoiled. We love it. And, they're just delivered up the goods. You go there every Monday or every Tuesday.
Yeah,
Yes,
I go there every Tuesday. And I talked with Hannah for a couple minutes this evening. She was there.
right.
And she's hooking up, she's making the food herself, which is great. And we were talking about, in the future, partnering up to do like an event around there with a block party maybe around there. Because I told her how you feel about that parking lot.
Right.
It's the greatest parking lot. And
It is the greatest parking lot. It's the greatest parking lot in Southern Maryland because of its location.
Yeah. So, that's the kind of place that I like sitting at and I like going.
Right.
And a lot of listeners have went since then, and they've all said they've had a great experience.
Awesome.
So everybody try it.
That's awesome, man. That's good to hear. And she's happy with everybody coming in.
Absolutely.
Sweet, man.
It's great.
Dude,
it's a
I
great
implore-
community thing, man.
Yeah, I implore everybody. There's never a wrong night of the week to go there.
Just don't go on Monday.
Yeah, because they're closed. Right.
We almost did that ourselves.
Yeah, we almost did that last night. We had to meet we met a man about a dog, and we almost made that the meeting location, and we were like, nope, can't do that. But
Yeah.
it happens.
It happens.
That's how much we love the place. We're
Right.
like, we're going to Spoons. We just assumed that's where we were going.
Right.
And the day of the week didn't even matter to us. We were just like, yeah, we're going there.
Hell yeah.
So you just go there, check it out. Wednesday's team trivia. Sunday's all day happy hour.
Yeah.
That's the hidden gem right there.
Yeah.
That
I've been known to pop in on a Sunday.
Well, dude, I'm just waiting for that time of the year where oblong balls start flying in the air.
Well,
that's where I might be at.
She did share some news with me today.
What's that?
They got their green light for their patio. as in you can take your beverage outside now. That's big. That's good for business.
That is good for business.
Summer's, fall's coming. People
Yeah,
want to
but-
sit outside and have a beverage.
Dude, the fall, I've been noticing the falls around here have been lasting a lot longer than usual.
They've been good.
They've been good, so you could be really utilizing that patio late October, early November.
They got
comfortably.
It. They got the thumbs
That's
up.
cool, man. So
Yep.
that, you're probably going to see me there on Sundays.
Joe, now they got the green light. Joe is getting to work on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, so everybody go to Spoons, check it out, and they got fantastic food, and we love being partnered up with them.
Yep.
And that's it. Let's cut a break, get reset. We'll get Mr. William Sanderson on the line.
He's next.
And talk to him, and then
He's next.
And then we just get this thing rolling tonight.
I don't know what to do.
I know. I gotta calm too, dude.
I'm gonna calm down.
Right. All right. It's Guitar Gurus with Dan and Dan. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Larry. This is my brother Dan, and this is my other brother Dan. And you're listening to the Southern Maryland Guitar Gurus Show.
Broadcasting from our 100 gigawatt radio internet thing that plugs into something else. It's WGUR, the Guitar Gurus. We see each other through different eyes.
Oh yeah, man, we're back from break, and we're gonna just start cranking the show right up, man, because it's action packed from start to finish, man.
It's
So,
Action
dude,
Jackson, buddy.
So without further ado, man, we're gonna crank up the Ollie's Bar and Grill soundstage phone system and get Mr. William Sanderson on the line.
Let's do this.
All
Let's,
right.
let's do it.
Soothing tones, Alden.
Soothing tones. You know him from all kinds of things. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Hello.
Hey, William, it's Dan from the Guitar Gurus. You want to go on the air?
Yes, how are you?
I'm awesome, man. Thanks for joining us tonight on our program. We really appreciate the time with you, and we look forward to this interview. I got my co-host, Dan Albin, here. Dan Albin, say hi to Mr. William Sanderson.
William, it is an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you for being gracious with your time with us.
And you too. It's an honor.
Thank you, sir. Well, let's get into some of your background, if that's okay. Our listeners
Yes.
are very intrigued. They know you from a lot of things, but a lot of people
Don't know
they've
you.
seen you, but they don't know who you are. Is that something you're okay with?
Yeah, that I wrote a book about it.
Well, let's hear more about that.
Right.
Well, when you're ready, the name of the book is Yes, I'm That Guy, The Rough and Tumble Life of a Character Actor.
Right.
And that book is available pretty much everywhere. Is that correct?
Well, it's in most retail stores. It's, I think, online, but Amazon is the quickest one that I've heard. We're getting ready to do a book signing in Baltimore, Maryland at Atomic Bookstore, but I don't want to get ahead of you. I hear you got some good questions, so but I'm kind of proud of the book.
You should
It's only
be.
been out a month, but it's getting good reviews. Thank
Great.
you.
We appreciate that, to hear that. I love that your hard work is paying off on that. We're actually going to be there at your book signing in Baltimore this Saturday.
Great.
Yeah, we'll get
Are
to
you
hang
a
out.
friend of Nick Katsouras?
Yeah, Nick was in here with us last week at the studio. He came visiting
Well,
us.
he's great. Any
Yeah.
friend of Nick's is a friend of mine.
We're old friends of
Looking
Nick's.
forward to
so-
seeing you.
That's awesome, William.
Yeah, we can't wait to meet you. I'm gonna buy your book that night so I can get it signed.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've been waiting.
Well, I thank you. I'll owe you 2 instead of 1.
No.
It's fine, man. We look forward to being a fan that day. We're gonna be a fan and
Yeah.
just be respectful and just hang out and just just have a good day, man. It's gonna be
Yeah.
Well,
awesome.
I looked you up, and I just saw 5 big bright stars, so you got a 5-star rating. I hope I don't get boring here.
No, we're not. No, never, man. But I want to know, at what age did you know that character acting and being in the business is what you wanted to do?
Oh, I got a late start, but it's a good question. It was when I was in law school, of all places, and I started last year in law school. I started doing some plays and found out it was a lot of fun. And I discovered I didn't have a talent for law, but I was rehearsing a play called Marat Sod and playing an insane patient. Surprise. But after I rehearsed, the cast applauded, and it was just a great feeling. I didn't know whether I could do it or not, and was very shy, very self-conscious, so forth. But I proceeded to do a couple of plays and moved to New York. And so that was 1971 probably, and I moved to New York in 72. And 6 or 7 years there, and 36 in LA, back in New York for almost 2 years. But I hope I answered your question in a long-winded way, I guess.
No, that's great. So
that's
70s
great.
New York in the music scene, did you go to clubs? Did you go experience some live music in that time? Anything that pops out in your memory that you might want to reflect
I know
on?
you all are experts on music, and I was a bartender, and I spent too many times in after-hours clubs, and you kind of get in trouble if you stay out too late. And but I didn't. Yeah, some of them like the Bitter Lemon, and some of them on Bleecker Street. I can't remember that many. I certainly grew up listening to a lot of music in Memphis. I hope we can touch on that. But I was mainly doing as many plays as I could, student films, background work, day player, till I got 3 or 4 films in a row. And so it's a very competitive city, you know, and I had to hustle to keep making a living and still pay for acting lessons. I should have gone to more clubs, probably.
Right. Did you try out for Taxi?
Taxi, I was bartending, and I make more money bartending, but I was an extra in that movie. Are you talking about Robert De Niro movie?
No, I'm talking the TV sitcom, Taxi.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
So you're saying that you were an extra in Taxi Driver?
Yeah, but what was your great question about the sitcom? I told you, a little bad connection, or I'm just an old fart. What was the
I said
sitcom?
the sitcom Taxi. Did you try out for that?
I'm not hearing. Are you talking about Newhart?
No. Hey, he was asking about the actual show, the Taxi show. Did you try out for that?
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
No,
I love that show, and later worked with Tony Danza, and I liked him. But that's about the time I was getting in L.A., and I would see them in a bar, cast sometimes over in Beverly Hills, called the Ginger Man. But no, I didn't try out for that, and it was a great show.
Yeah, it was.
I got you. Cool. Let's talk about the Deadwood movie.
Okay.
When you got the call to relive the your character, what was your initial gut feeling?
Well, I was skepticism because they've been talking about it for years. And again, 12 years after we wrapped it, they said, well, keep 3 months open this fall, past fall. And as it get closer, somebody, makeup man call and say, start growing a beard. And they get a little closer. And finally, they made an offer to the agent. And that was kind of nerve-wracking when you're waiting, and you
Right.
They like to pay you as little as they can, and you like to make as much as you can. But we got it done, and I was happy to see them. I had the most fun I'd had in 3 years on that show. And unfortunately, the creator of the show, David Milch, was sick, and that probably affected the Deadwood movie. But I did it, and that was that. It was fun.
Yeah.
You don't often get to go back and repeat an experience that was so much fun that years later.
Right. I mean, when you went back to the set, did it flood you with a bunch of memories?
Oh, yeah. It looked very much the same, and I was happy to see Ian McShane, Timothy Oliphant, the great women, Molly Parker, Kim Dickens, one that plays Calamity Jane, Robin Weigert, and all of them. They probably all made more money than I did, but I did pretty good. I kept the money.
Right.
I was actually I loved the movie, and I binge watched the series before the movie came out just so I could feel that continuation. And the thing that disappointed me a little bit about the movie, there wasn't enough of you. Like at the end with
there's
the
a good
wedding
reason
scene,
for
you're
that.
gone.
I was very happy when I got the script. It's on the cutting room floor. And one of the best scenes that I'd ever had was written and just cut. It was a long scene on the telephone.
Yes.
And someday, if we talk again, I will say the scene to you over the phone. I don't want to bore you.
Well,
But there's a number of things cut, not just me. Dan Doherty, or the character Earl Brown, had a lot of stuff cut. And so I choose to think of the 3 years that were fun. And but you're not the first person to say that. But I have to think about the people that weren't there, and that I got to have as much fun as I did.
Well, if you
but
could...
it's never fun to have your part cut.
No,
in 3
it's
years,
not.
they never cut one line, because that's an hour show, and it was timed perfectly.
Yeah.
This show, they had a lot of flashbacks. I don't know. Maybe they had too many bosses. If you have 2 bosses, they can capsize a boat. And then maybe you have 4 bosses. What do you think happens?
A mutiny.
David Mills, as I may have said, had Alzheimer's, so he was the only boss I ever had and the only man I listened to.
Nice.
So even though we had directors, producers, but it was a different thing. But I thank God I was in it and stayed out of trouble.
Yeah, I enjoyed your character very much. You were my favorite character. Well,
thank you.
I liked Ian McShane too. He's pretty good. But
he is. He's a great actor, and I hope somebody buys my book. We got a picture of him and me in there, and a few others.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see that.
Hey, William, let's transition back to Memphis, Tennessee for a moment, and I want to ask you about Elvis Presley, and your relationship with him, because I'm intrigued by it if there's one.
Well, I remember my wife saying years ago, "Don't quit talking about him. They'll know how old you are." But I'm 75, but it's some of the greatest memories. It was, we had Sun Records and Stax Records, but somehow I got to see about 3 concerts of Elvis, play football with him, and I could basically sneak in the amusement park that he would rent for his friends at midnight. And playing football, I guess the most exciting up close. I was a fan. He didn't know me. But I got to go out to his house with Mr. Lansky, who owned a clothing store on Beale Street, and Elvis was playing the piano. And he played "Don't Be Cruel," "Blueberry Hill," and another song. And within a year or so, he was the highest paid entertainer in the world. So Elvis sparked a lot of dreams for people, and I saw him more than that, but I don't want to waste your whole time with it. And always extremely polite to the fans, and I registered that. And I even went in the Army at 18. He made an impact on me.
He made an impact on millions and millions of people. And with that being said, I got to ask you, since you've been around him, when he was young. I got
only
know.
When he was young. After the mid '60s, I didn't see him. He became kind of a caricature.
Yeah.
But as a young man, he was really something.
I got to know this. Was he really that charismatic and charming?
Yeah. When we played football, he had come back from Hollywood. Of course, they dyed his hair black, which he wanted, and he had the white cap. But I thought, damn, he can't play. He's going to get hurt. And I'm a little guy who I don't know what I'm talking about, but he looked like Rudolph Valentino, somebody has said. He was extremely... And I ran into him in a record shop, and there's a story there in the book. I'll spare you, but his group of the girls were kind of in awe of him. But when we would go to the amusement park, the friends would go in the side gate, and you could follow along on the midway. But women would follow him like the Pied Piper.
Wow.
So it was great that he did live till 42. That was it's a hard thing. You know about the music business. You're up, down, you're up. And so he was very sad about a lot of things. I hear and I read about his manager turning down big movies. He could have been a wonderful actor.
Oh, okay.
But
Right.
I jump all around when I talk, and if I don't want anybody to think that, he's gotten mad at me. He's for hitting the bumper cars head on, and then he said, it's okay, I apologized. He said, I just get tired of paying for new motors. But he offered me to sit in the limousine, Cadillac. We've got Pepsis out there playing football. And I talk more about it in the book. If I tell too much, they won't look at it.
Right.
But he was very charismatic, and he was really something to be around.
Well, thank you for answering that question for us. I just wanted to know, because I've never talked to anybody who ever actually met him or knew him. And we're a music show, and we want to hear about musicians, and everybody who listens to the show is influenced by Elvis in some way, whether they know it or not. So thank you so much for that. And,
I got stories in the book, but I'm hoping I'm hearing what you say. If I don't answer it correctly, please make me.
You're doing great, man. I know you can hear us. I think you're just messing with us.
No, I'm just. It's just a little. You're doing fine. I'm probably just an old fart.
No.
Can't hear, can't see, can't pee.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Can I ask you? We're gonna shift gears a little bit. I want to get into your iconic character of Larry on Newhart. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Now, is your catchphrase? Was that yours? Did you come up with that?
No, a young lady wrote it. I didn't meet her, but I think her name was Catherine Green.
Wow.
I'm not sure, but I kind of patterned him after a town crazy that I played back east. And in some plays I'd played a bum, but in one I played a tramp. And I just saw Larry more as a tramp than a bum, but I studied bums on the Bowery in Manhattan. And he was a piece of my grandfather wearing 2 shirts in the summertime, keep from getting sunburned on the farm. And he picked lint off his hat. Nobody knew that. I don't know if we can say the B word, but I'd see a bum walking down the street and he's picking lint off his head and saying, I'll kill the... Can we say bitch?
We can say anything we want. This is...
He said, I'll kill a bitch under his breath, and they just fascinated me. There was a sadness in their eyes. They might have had a band on their arm where they just got out of the DT ward, and they would bullshit a lot. I'm from Tennessee, and they said, I know Johnny Cash. They thought I was a real bum because I dressed and took some pictures for a play I was doing. And the bum would say, give him a quarter. You got to give him a quarter.
Wow.
So I don't know. I guess I identify with too many low people and identify with outcasts and things like that.
Yeah.
So I played a lot of them.
It's amazing. It's an amazing history of what you've done. I was looking through your Wikipedia, and when you see like how you're listed, it'll either be like guy in the next cell or something like that. It's like.
Well, thank you for saying there's a lot of stuff that's not on that I was lucky enough to do, but I am very grateful, and I try to say that in the book. And I made a lot of mistakes and did a lot of dumb things, a lot of more defects than virtues.
Okay.
But if you don't say something disgraceful about yourself, you might be lying. But
right.
The whole book was the second chances that I got, even though you get fired or every actor struggles. It's a redundant, struggling actor.
I'm sure.
Thank you for the nice words. So.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm also going to tell you on the mention of that character. You know what my favorite line you ever had was? As Larry.
What?
When you gave Miss Stephanie the locket and she goes, "Oh, this is a nice locket." You said it better be. We had to clear 3 septics to get it.
That's amazing that you remember that. That people say things that I can't remember. Well, right now I have a lot of trouble remembering things. But
Yeah.
yeah, we had fun. And Julia Duffy was her name. She wrote a book about her days, worst auditions, but she never missed a line of dialogue, and she was like beautiful ingenue type. We had, and of course Bob is a great gentleman and a great boss to work for.
Good.
And John Volstead and Tony Pappenfuss played my brothers, and
Yep.
they had such a theater background, and that really helped before the live audience.
Isn't that great? Guys that never spoke a line had such a great background of acting, and then played guys who didn't talk for 9 years.
Yeah, it was tough for them, and but they had a lot of character. And we decided to be happy that we had a regular job. But
Right.
some powers that be, I won't mention names, they wanted us to make commercials, but they wanted to keep a mystery about the characters. So I was able to, where Tony and John weren't as much. But we're friends, and I make a joke. People ask, did they mind not talking? I say, well, if they did, they never said anything to me about it.
That's great.
It's not, it called for a lot of character to play those parts.
Yeah, that is a hard thing
because
to do.
they probably read for my part, probably could have played it. And they just mixed us up, and Bob decided to say we moved from Appalachia to Vermont because of the way I talk.
That's awesome, man. So, hey, William, what was one of your favorite roles that you played?
Well, oh my goodness. Well, it wasn't a very big role, but Coal Miner's Daughter is a little better in the book. But because she's such a great lady, and to be in a film where she won the Academy Award, I played her uncle, who was a moonshiner. And he was trying to sue Loretta, and but that was fun, and that was the first of 6 projects I did with Tommy Lee. So I should say any one I did with Tommy Lee.
Nice.
Because he's 2 or 3 different people.
That's awesome.
All right,
man.
Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah, okay. I like his movies.
Oh, dude, Tommy Lee Jones. One of my favorite movies he did, shows my age, was Under Siege. When he played that guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
was Gary Busey in that?
Yeah, man, that was a movie, man. Like Tommy Lee Jones was a badass, man. You know when he got into that
he's
role.
pretty tough old man. Now that's the first one Tommy got at least $1 million for, I think. But
Wow.
now he's got quite a net worth. But it was always fun working with him. The Western did Lonesome Dove, and that won a lot of awards. Anytime you do a Western with him, he's got huge ranches and grew up 8th generation Texan, and he's fun to work with. He directed me in a play called The Authentic Life of Billy the Kid, and I learned more from him in that play than most other plays I did.
Wow. That's awesome.
You could just see it in his work, though. You really can.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's good.
So do you prefer westerns? What's your favorite genre, William? I want to know. What do you like?
Well, these days I turn down things. I'm not looking anymore. But the one that gives me the most money, makes an offer that I can't refuse, so to speak.
Right.
I loved westerns though, and had the pleasure of working with James Garner and some Tom Selleck a number of times, and various others. And Lee Marvin, I rode a horse at least with Lee Marvin, Charles Bronson. I grew up, they were heroes. To get to be in a film was exciting. But I don't really have any favorite. It's getting to do different things, is pretending to be somebody I'm not in all of them.
You've done a lot of different things, and a lot of amazing things. I mean, everything.
Thank you for saying that. But I did a couple of Babylon 5s, and the creator of the show wrote a Twilight Zone, the modern Twilight Zone. And he says, you're the romantic lead. I fell in love with a statue. So I don't get to play romantic leads that much.
No.
And the one you get a
I'm
statue.
joking.
Right,
but
I
just trying to play different things is what's fun.
Yeah. You know what I really enjoyed was that X-Files episode that you did.
Oh, that was
Blood.
fun, and I started
Yeah.
to bring it up, but I didn't mean to. That's a very good director. He directed a lot of Games of Thrones and
James
Game of
Wong,
Thrones,
right?
but
Yeah. Or
Dave
he wrote
Nutter.
it. Yeah.
And but that was fun, and the star reminded me a little of Harrison Ford. And the crew member said, "Tell him he really likes Harrison," but he was busy, and I didn't bother him. But I liked going nuts at the end.
Oh yeah. Everybody wants to go nuts at the end a little bit, but we can. But you get to do that as an actor.
That's part of the reward, you know.
Right.
So, speaking of Harrison Ford, you were in probably one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever made, which is Blade Runner. And
Well, I thank you, Blade Runner. Yes, it's considered a cult classic, and I am very happy to be in it. It's nice to be in a cult film.
yeah.
And of course, Harrison was the biggest star in the world at that time.
Oh yeah.
He's still pretty well known, and I got to play a more sympathetic character, and I had 2 hours of latex to make a 20-year-old man look like he was 40-something. It's pretty subtle, but it was an ordeal to sit through it.
I
You
can
know,
imagine.
but it was kind of fun. Ridley Scott was a visionary director.
Yeah.
I get to at least say I worked with him. So
It's a beautiful film, and your part in it was just incredible. It was moving.
well, it wasn't a big part, but it was. I was very happy to have it, and there was more. I was supposed to die on the screen, but Rutger Hauer thought if we don't show the death, he'd be more sympathetic.
Yeah. There you go.
So he's the star, and he was great in it. I'm an admirer of Rutger. And Daryl Hannah
Yep.
is great. And Joanna Cassidy, easy on the eyes.
You are awesome, man. You are completely
I'm
awesome.
old,
You're
I'm
great.
old.
No, you're great. You are so
Thank you.
great.
I can't wait to meet you Saturday, man.
We're ready for Saturday. We're coming to Baltimore for the book signing, to sit down and hear you talk about it. I can't wait to look through this book and just maybe get lucky and have a couple minutes with you just to talk story. Hopefully.
I hope so. It would probably be after, but depending, maybe. I hope the weather's nice, and I hope people do come for the store's sake and everyone. But can we mention the address, or can we do that?
We absolutely can do that. Yes.
Atomic Bookstore in Baltimore, and I think it's 3620 Falls Road. I've never been there.
That's
Me
correct.
neither.
It's those
so.
people. Do they use those GPSs or something? The 21211. That's, I don't know. 3620 Falls Road, Atomic Bookstore, and it's John Waters' background. So I hope I'm not boring when I go in there.
Well, it's hard to top anything John Waters
his
does.
stomping grounds. I meant to say.
He's a tough act to follow in any regard, but
I would say.
we're bringing a caravan up the road, William. We're gonna have a bunch of people with us. So.
Oh boy! Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you, and I guess 7 to 9 p.m. is officially. I'm looking. Yeah.
Yep.
Are we getting near the end? I didn't know.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's up to you.
No, my wife told me there was a certain amount of time, and I didn't. And I looked at some of your questions. May I say that I did? And you had best gig, worst gig, and I didn't want to get ahead of you, but that's an interesting question. I don't know if I can answer it.
Well, William, that's what I was gonna do. Is I was gonna bring it home because we're coming up on the break, but we got some time to get the last question in, and that's
All right.
and it's our signature question on the show, and I know everybody that's listening is geeked out and ready to hear it. So we call it best gig, worst gig. You can answer in any order you want, and we want you to reflect back on your whole career
Ooh.
And you know, just stand out of what was the worst job you have and what was the best job you have and why. And it doesn't have to be derogatory. It could be just any kind of coincidences that happened.
Yeah.
Well, I would say I look forward to doing a little independent film in Tennessee, mainly because my relatives were there, and I'd get to see them on somebody else's plane ticket. But it turned out to be pretty dreadful. It was called, oh God, what the hell? H.P. Lovecraft. I don't even see. Let's see. I can't think of the title. I'm so embarrassed.
That's how bad it was. We get it.
Yeah, man. What the hell? H.P. Lovecraft. I can look him up. It's terrible. I said it's a tough question. And I played an insane guy again, and he's inbred, but they were the most unprofessional people I've ever seen. They had didn't know what they were doing, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's raining like heck, and we called for a prop, tequila, and it's supposed to be fake tequila. And I'm taking this big gulps of tequila, and it was crazy. They didn't even know you don't use real booze in films. I don't know. Maybe they didn't like me and they were playing a trick on me.
Oh no!
Oh, Lord.
No, that's not cool at all.
No, the movie I liked though was Blade Runner because of the professionalism and the great actors, and it's the one I'm most asked about. And he was very different from me. Man, I'm embarrassed at HP. Well, they don't deserve to. That way I don't get in trouble by
There you go.
being a jerk.
They didn't do a good enough job to be remembered.
William, you've had enough esteemed career accomplishments to be a jerk on that one instance. It's okay. It's all right, man. It's fine. Trust me.
Yeah.
I can't hear real well, but Joe Slater was his name, and I don't know. You can't edit that.
No, you can't.
It's all good, William. It's
Unless
great.
you ask us later, can you make sure you take that out?
Well, I have repressed a lot of it because hours and hours of waiting for them to set up a shot. But I got to see my relatives. Some famous casting director said, "Why did he take that movie?" Oh, so I could forget the title, I guess. No. So
It made for a great story here in 2019.
It did.
All these years later, it's a good story. So,
Well, thank you. And I look forward to meeting you, all right?
All right, William.
We'll see you Saturday, William. Hopefully in the future we can get you on again, maybe, if you got something coming up or you just want to talk to us.
That sounds great.
We love talking to you.
Right.
You too, and maybe we'll get to let you get a word in about your music and instead of listening to me ramble. All right.
No,
all right.
it's all good.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Have a great night,
All right,
William.
William,
We'll talk
thank
at
you.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
All right.
I love William.
That's it.
He's awesome.
That's
dude.
it. I don't even know. I'm done. Satisfied 100%. I'm blown away right now.
Cool. Well,
How
dude,
cool was that, man?
I'm blown away. That was a fantastic interview. What we're going to do is we're going to take another quick break, get reset up, come back, do Sean in 60 seconds. And then we got Dino coming up, and we still got Guitar of the Week.
Yeah.
And Andrew McSpadden and 2 for Tuesdays. It's just cranking out. It's insane. And, let's just take a break real quick.
Real quick, yeah.
All right. Guitar Gurus with Dan and Dan.
What's up? This is Joe Barrick from Sam Grow, and you are listening to the Southern Maryland Guitar Guru Show, baby.
The Southern Maryland Guitar Gurus, the only guys that would do a live broadcast from Dogpatch. We see each other through different eyes.
Oh, man, we're back from break. The show is cranking. Mr. Alban, how are you feeling, man?
I'm on cloud 9, my friend, man. It's an amazing thing that we've got going with amazing people coming in and just talking to us about their lives and stories.
Dude, the Ollie's Bar and Grill soundstage phone system handled its business.
Yes, it
Connecting
did.
to William like that, man.
What a great interview that was.
Oh, I can't wait to listen back. I enjoy it just as much as the listeners, man.
Give you a little insight for everybody listening right now. We're still bouncing off the walls in here, man.
Yeah, it was electric.
It was amazing.
Yeah, dude, he's down to earth guy, man. Just
so down to
awesome.
earth. Just a great individual, great person. We couldn't just thank him any more than we are right now.
Right. We'll see him on Saturday.
Show him some love. Get over there and like his page.
Right.
Our buddy Nick runs his social media.
Right.
Show that love.
Yeah, and it's connected. Just touch his name on our post.
That's it.
Takes you right there. Hit the like button.
You couldn't ask to support a better person.
Right, and come up to Atomic Books on Saturday to the book signing.
Yes.
We're all going to be there.
We're all going to be there.
Right. So it's going to be cool, man. And I can't wait to ask him stories about what's in the book.
Yeah.
It was just good stuff, man. I purposely haven't bought it yet because I know this was coming up.
Great. I want to buy mine Saturday while I'm there so he can sign it for me and we can talk.
Take my picture. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. And
right.
Maybe in a couple of months we can follow up with him on the book after we've read some, and we'll see.
All right, cool. Well, dude, we got to get going. Let's get going. Running behind. All right, Sean in 60 seconds is going to be like Sean in 6 minutes tonight, so it's going to be awesome. We're talking power issues. It's a show. I'm going to crank the Ollie's Bar and Grill soundstage phone system.
Let's do it. He's got a great topic on tap for us tonight. Something that's a hot button issue right now.
Right. Come on, connect, Sean. Pick up. Come on. It's ringing.
What's up, gurus?
Hey, Sean, it's Dan. You know you know what time it is.
Oh, of course.
It's time for Sean in 60 seconds. What's up, brother?
Do it.
So tonight we're running tight, dude. We got 6 minutes to do this. We're talking power fluctuations, issues at clubs, what bands can do to protect their equipment. Everybody interacted on social media with the post from Jay. What say you on the issue?
Well, one thing that is obviously a necessary thing, if you have power-sensitive equipment, you need to get a either get a power drop, like a power distribution unit, so you can plug into like a 480 volt outlet, and then you are in control of your own breakers, and everything is good, solid in that sense. Another thing that's really popular is also the Furman. I can't remember what the word is. Power conditioner.
Yeah, conditioner voltage regulator.
Yeah, I've got one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, and so those have like battery backups and stuff like that, so you can. The output's always constant and kind of charges as it produces power for your equipment. So, oftentimes those things will work out so that you don't end up actually destroying your gear. But I mean, even with that stuff, if you end up in venues where they don't provide you with the amount of electricity that you need or the circuits that you need, and you start blowing breakers, I mean, we've had so many gigs. I mean, this past Saturday, we went and did the wedding. They had generators set up all over the place, and we hadn't even turned the PA on yet. Nothing was playing. All we had was just some stage gear on, a couple laptops and some lights, just the LED lights, and the breaker was already going off. Like we were freaking out because we were running short on time at this point. We had to get sound check done. We couldn't even freaking turn the lights on.
Wow.
So we ended up unplugging Jason's laptop from that extension cord and plug it into a different circuit. And I guess just that one little amperage difference was enough to cause that breaker to go. And I guess it's part of the surge protector thing. It's like it's only rated for 20 amps, and with his laptop it was at 20.1 or something, and it just shut off.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we did a gig up in Glen Burnie one time, and the gig there, the power there is always very finicky. So we have like a monitor thing that tells us the exact voltage of that we're getting from the outlets.
Right.
And you want that around 120, obviously. And there it fluctuates depending on how loud you're getting, between 113 and 117. Like when you first plug it in there, it's barely hitting 119. So I think the first time or second time we went there, we actually blew a Crest amp. I think it was a 3,000 watt amp to the subs. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
And I mean, now we go there and like the only reason it blew was because like the sound guy at the time wasn't monitoring it that closely because he wasn't aware of the issue. So it was because I mean we were paying attention to it, but it wasn't his gear. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was just in the mix, and we didn't think about telling him about the power issue. We're just like, all right, well, whatever happens, happens. And then next thing you know, we're out a $4,000 watt or 4,000 watt amp. So.
Wow, man.
Right.
So a band that's just starting out that doesn't have any of that stuff, give us some elementary rules or what kind of like things to look for, to make sure that you're not running into something bad.
Well, obviously you want to talk to the manager the first thing you get there, your point of contact, whoever it is, or the sound guy, and figure out if they do have two circuits. If you have multiple circuits, then obviously you can divide up the power distribution or on the stage. Ideally, you would have, a separate power for the front of house and everything like that. As far as trying to avoid that situation, I mean, if as a starting out, I honestly don't really know what to tell you. I mean, you call the venue ahead of time and ask them, say, what's the power situation looking like there, and then if the guy doesn't sound like he knows what he's talking about, then you got to try to point him in the right direction or find somebody who does know what they're talking about.
Right.
I mean, I've been in rooms where you have outlets on one side of the room and outlets on the other side of the room, and they're still on the same circuit. And you think you're doing your best by trying to plug in this far apart, and it doesn't even make a difference.
Right.
And I mean, the only person that really knows is the electrician who installed the whole thing, and then anybody who actually works there that gives a damn. Most people don't even know where the breaker box is, though.
Right.
That's the truth of it right there.
Well, I mean, I just want you to speak it so people hear it so they know that to be aware.
Yeah.
Because, you're just playing with house money at that point.
Yeah, you tear up your gear because of that.
That's on
They
you.
look at you and go, sorry.
Yeah, right. They don't care.
You're paying for it.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the nature of the business. I mean, It's your neck on the line. And unfortunately, even... This is the main story I wanted to tell you guys, was even with union jobs, we took my dad's X32 Behringer mixer to run sound for a band up at the Gaylord in the National Harbor. And I mean, we weren't even allowed to touch the power boxes. They had to plug in every single IEC cord themselves. Like, we weren't allowed to touch anything. There was a button to lift the gear up onto the stage. We weren't allowed to press that button. We weren't allowed to touch shit.
Wow.
They plugged in my dad's X32 console into the power strip into a specific outlet and fried it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Now looking back, it's awesome. In that moment, it was just absolute. We were dead in the water at that point. I mean, and this was one of the early model Gen 1 X32s with the Midas preamps in it. It was a nice rack.
Right.
They don't make those. They don't make them like that anymore.
So what did they plug it into?
They plugged it into a regular. It was a surge protector power strip.
All right. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was sitting right there on stage. And the board was going to be set up right behind the curtain. And he plugged it in. The board booted up for 2 seconds and then just fizzled out. It was dead forever.
That's awesome.
And they were nice enough to offer to rent us their Midas.
Lord, man, that's a bad day, man.
To rent it to you. Yeah, we'll rent it to you.
After they destroyed our console, they wanted to rent us theirs. Right. I think at the end of the day, they ended up waiving the rental fee, but I don't recall exactly. I think my dad knows more about that than I do. I just remember just trying to get the hell out of there.
Right.
Wow, man.
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic when I say that's awesome.
Oh, I know.
In case anybody's listening going, Alban doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about right now.
Right.
Well, no. I hate to break this marriage up, though, man. Time's kicking short.
No, I can't wait to hear what the actor guy has to say.
So it's cool, man. Wait till you listen back. It's epic, man. But, dude, we'll check in next week with you. We'll be back to a normal pattern, and we'll do the normal deal, okay?
All right, man.
Well, thanks, Sean, for letting us manipulate the time, okay?
All right.
Oh, of course.
Cool, man. Well, we'll talk at you, buddy. Take it easy, man.
All right. You too, guys.
All right.
See ya.
See you, buddy.
Bye. Oh, there it is, dude. Sean in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break real quick, get reset up, and get Dino on the line.
Repeat offender, Dino Monoxelos.
The Ampeg guy.
Coming up next.
Guitar Guru Show with Dan and Dan.
Hi, this is Mike Stacy from the Sam Bro Band, and you're listening to the Southern Maryland Guitar Guru Show.
The Southern Maryland Guitar Gurus, the only guys that would do a live broadcast from Dogpatch. We see each other through different eyes.
Oh, yeah, man. What a night it's been, dude.
It's magic.
The Ollie's Bar and Grill soundstage phone system's cranking. I'm popping Ollie's. Oh, yeah, that's the spot. That'll help.
Listen out for those. If anybody can guess the right amount of pops by the end of the show, you might win a prize.
Right. That's cool, man.
Listen up for that. So.
Exactly.
We're on cloud 9 here, man. We're excited. This is turning out to be an epic episode. It's beyond our wildest dreams at this point.
Yep. And without further ado, I'm just gonna dial up Dino, man. Let's talk to the bass guy, the Ampeg guy.
Do it.
Fire up the Ollie's Bar and Grill soundstage phone system. Gonna get the technology of a phone cranking.
He really loves the phone system here. And he should. Ollie's does a great
I'm an
job.
old school phone guy, dude.
Ollie's
That's
does
what I
a
used to
great
do.
job, man.
Right, exactly.
Hello.
Hey, Dino, it's Dan from the Guitar Gurus. You want to go on the air?
Dan, absolutely, man.
Dude, where you been, dude? I've seen you all over the world, man. It's like you got a time machine.
You know, it's funny you say that. Remind me to tell you the story about the time machine that I was playing just this past weekend.
I will, dude. Duly noted.
It's been crazy. It's just been, I've been doing a lot of traveling the last month or so.
Oh man, and then the last 6-7 months since you've been on, man, I've watched your Facebook post. I got to see you at when you were in Southern California and doing that orchestra pit deal that you talked about on the show. So it was really cool to see you do that, man, and knew the backstory behind it. I felt like a real personal connection.
That's cool. Hasn't been that long since I've been on. Wow.
Right, Dino, man, as soon as you came on the show, man, it was a couple weeks later, man, it just, this rocket ship took off and we were on board, man, and the show's just, it's been going really well for us, man, and we're so gracious for everybody's time.
That's cool. I've been following you guys on Facebook as well, and just seeing your guests coming on, and yeah, it's taken off. That's awesome. I'm happy for you guys.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to have you back, and I know my co-host Dan Albin's super stoked to have you back on. Dan Albin, say hi to Dino.
Dino, I am so glad you're here again, man.
Thanks, Dan. Good to talk to you.
You're what we call a repeat offender now. You've been on. You're coming back.
I was afraid I scared you guys off the first time. You'd never invite me back, but you know.
I'm the guy at this show that wants to just talk to bass players all day.
That's awesome.
And I don't want to be like, let's call Dino again this week. I don't want to keep doing that, you know.
You guys can call me anytime. I'm always happy to chat.
That's how cool you are. You're great with your time. Thank you for spending it with us. Let's talk tonight, man.
Yeah.
So what's up? Bring us up to speed in the Ampeg Yamaha world. I know that last time we talked, everything was still nice and new, and the relationship was great with the parent brand. Is that still the case? Are you excited for Summer NAMM? We have a lot of ground to cover. So what's up, man?
Yeah, no, everything is still just going fantastic. It's full steam ahead. You know, now we're down into the nitty gritty where we're starting to develop things and work on things, and there's a lot of things unfortunately I can't tell you just yet, because that's kind of like telling your kids what they're getting for Christmas. It's not fair.
And that means it's exciting. Yep. That's what that means.
Yeah. And they're just, man, they are such just, Yamaha has been just great stewards of the brand, and they understand the legacy of the brand and where it came from and where it's, you know, where it is, and also where it needs to go too. So, you know, this we're in this for the long run. Basically, this is going to be a long time thing, and you know, they've just been absolutely fantastic. Like when I sit in, you know, on some of these meetings and stuff, and we talk about, you know, well, is this the right thing to do or is this the wrong thing to do? And they ask my opinion, which I don't know why they do that all the time, but because they've got such great people working on staff, you know, that have been there for years. But, you know, yeah, when we're just talking about building stuff and putting things together, it's like, well, all right, this is the right way to do it. This is the right thing to do. So this is how we're going to do it. It's just been great.
That's so awesome and refreshing to hear somewhere in the corporate world something's done right. And to hear you really talk about it and you hear the conviction in your voice. And I bought in, dude. I want to put my app in, man. Bring me aboard, you know? That's how I feel. Yeah. They just, like I said, they've just been fantastic about it, man. And you know, they're a guitar company by you know, Yamaha Guitar Group is the parent company of Ampeg, Yamaha Guitars, and Line 6. So they've been fantastic. They really have. That's good, man. Well, give us what can we, if we're at the Summer NAMM show, what can we expect to see from you?
Well, I can tell you this. So, Summer NAMM show is primarily a guitar show, as we know in Nashville. It's, you know, it really is a big guitar show. Last year, Yamaha showed up, and they kind of had their full line. They had pianos, drums. Hang on a second. Let me just mute this real quick.
Sure.
You know, this year it's primarily focused on guitar products. So you're going to see Yamaha guitars, both electric and acoustic. You'll see a bunch of Line 6 products there, and of course you're going to see Ampeg there as well. You know, we're obviously we're going to show a lot of existing products that you probably saw at Winter NAMM.
Okay.
But you know, we are working on that Heritage 50th anniversary SVT, and we're going to have, you know, this Summer NAMM is basically going to be the launch of that. We showed the concept at Winter NAMM, excuse me,
right.
You know, kind of what it was going to be, but now, like, at Summer NAMM, we've been working the last 6 months, and we have finished product that we're actually going to show it at Summer NAMM. It's going to be awesome.
So you're going to be there on site, correct?
I will be there.
I
will be there. Like I tell everybody, I'll be the jerk standing in the corner wearing the Ampeg shirt.
You're the guy I'm looking for.
I'll be there, man.
I love Ampeg, man.
I got my Ampeg shirt. I'll find the corner.
Yeah. I need an Ampeg shirt. Can you send a couple to the show here?
You know what? I will actually send you guys some shirts as soon as I get them.
Awesome, dude. I appreciate that. Any kind of swag you want put in the studio, send it in. We'll post it and credit
Absolutely.
you.
And the next time you're in town, the cigars are on me, buddy.
Oh, we got to go to that restaurant that you talked to me about.
And I'll take you next time you come
right
on.
Dude, I'm drooling already, man. I love that. Dude, I'm telling you, Dino, the menu there is fantastic. And people down in Southern Maryland don't know how good they have it. So, and you can attest to how good it is, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's fantastic. It really is.
Greek restaurant's great, man. So we'll do that.
Cool.
So, dude, so what's your current rig when you're doing your live shows? I know that when you went down to New Zealand, you took some gear with you. So what was your gear choice for that trip?
Well, they had most of the gear down there, but I'll tell you, it runs the gamut now because I think last time we had spoken, I was kind of dabbling with in-ears and this the band that I'm working with now, you know, a lot of clean stage stuff. So it's funny. We just had Bike Week up here in New Hampshire, Laconia Bike Week, the Loudon Classic, and we played a bunch of dates up here. And it went from everything to just walking in with the DI, with my SVT DI, and a set of in-ears to Walking in with a full-blown SVT rig, full SVT head, and a 10 cabinet.
Wow.
So I guess that's one of the curses of the blessings of working for Ampeg is I get all this great gear that I can try out, carry out on gigs. But I mean, when it comes down to it, man, it's still just, when I have my choice of any rig, it's an SVT and an A10 cab. That's what I'm used to.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a setup, though, man. That's
the
setup.
Yeah, so I'm using that, and then I got into pedal boards recently, or building pedal boards, if you will. So I've got my SVT DI on the board. I'm also using one of the Ampeg classic preamps that I use that specifically to send to front of house, so that gets fed back in through my in-ears. And then for effects, I'm using this cool. It's a Zoom B3 pedal that a lot of bass players are hip to, that they don't make anymore, and it's this great multi-effects modeling processor that gives me all my synth sounds and all my chorus sounds. It's really cool.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Zoom, every once in a while, man, Zoom puts out a piece that's just awesome, and it just and it never gets any main run, and I never understand it, man.
Yeah, I think what's happening now is because they're so focused on making cameras and live audio recording hardware that a lot of people forget that they actually do make a cool multi-effects processor too.
Yeah, I got an old Zoom G2.1, man. It's just got this one distortion tone on there that I just love, and that's the only reason I keep it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a cool piece, man. That's cool, man. I love Zoom.
Cool.
So what kind of frustrations are in the music industry right now that you see that if you got someone to vent to like us, vent to us real quick, man.
Man,
tell us something, man.
I'll tell you.
Right.
I guess one of my biggest frustrations is, and I don't know any nice way to say this, but the tolerance just for I hate to say it, but bad music. Or not just, I shouldn't say bad music, but I guess it's there's so many great, talented artists out there that don't get any recognition or any publicity. By not getting that, they can't support themselves. Therefore, their art ends up going away or dying on the vine because they can't support themselves. And on the hindsight, it's like the general acceptance from the public of what they consider talent or good music. And I'm not going to name any names or anything, but it just amazes me that. I guess like somebody was saying, you don't have to be talented to be famous.
Absolutely right.
And it's just, I guess that's probably my biggest frustration, man, is just seeing all this great talent being ignored in lieu of, lack of a better term, lesser talent, if you will, or no talent for that matter.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's why we kind of created our show the way we did, Dino. Is because we're trying to give our local artists that does have the talent, that is putting in the hard work, a platform to at least promote their music and their brand.
Right.
And we're just in all of the whole community aspect, and we're just love doing the show. We just want to do the show and help everybody out.
Somebody's got to give the truly talented artist a platform.
Yeah.
And like, I agree with you. I would say it differently than you did, Dino, because you do a lot of corporate events, so you know how to be politically correct. I'm on a podcast where I don't have to be anything.
Right.
And I can just say, those three guys are better than 1,000 of these crappy pop bands that someone else wrote their songs for, and it's so mixed. And there's auto-tuning, and it's a shame that handful of really genuine great artists are getting overlooked or drowned out. And it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm really passionate about this.
Yeah, and I think the only way it's going to change, man, is with guys like yourself that are out there, trying to do the right thing and publicizing local bands and publicizing, talking to the talent that's out there, and people listening in going, hey, wow, I heard the Guitar Guru's talking about this one band, and they're playing right there. Let's go check them out. For $5 or $10 to get in and go see them, it's worth it. And
right.
It's just amazing. Like one of my all-time favorite bands, I got hip to because their bass player was listed as an artist or a notable user on a bass website, and I don't know if I can say the name of the band or the website, but
go for it.
It's this band called Here Come the Mummies. They're out of Nashville, and it's all these studio cats that dress up as mummies. Yeah. And I just saw this one dude's picture on the Lakeland website. I was like, wow, that looks kind of cool. But dude dressed up like a mummy. Let me go check those guys out. And I checked, and it was like it's this really hip horn funk rock band that now they become one of my favorite bands. And I wouldn't have even considered looking at the band had I not seen them on basically Lakeland's website, just noting this guy as a notable user. I thought it was really cool.
Right.
And it's amazing what you can find out there if you just go look for it.
Yeah.
That's
cool. Great. And, I know you're a Lakeland guy. So when you see a guy like, oh, yeah, he's notable. Yeah, this guy's legitimate. Let's check him out. See what he's got.
Yeah,
Man,
exactly.
Discovered a great band. That's great, man. That's all we got to do. We got to do the research and look into things and try things out.
Yeah.
Let's find people, man.
Well,
and educate your kids.
Yeah.
Yes. I got to tell you, it was, I was driving home the other night, me and my wife and my 22-year-old daughter and my 16-year-old daughter were in the back seat. And, I don't necessarily agree with all the music that they like because some of it's, I'm an older generation, but man, Bohemian Rhapsody came on the radio and they both sang it word for word at the top of their lungs. That was the proud dad moment for me.
Yes. I love it.
I've done it right.
That's exactly. Right. We learned them right, didn't we?
Right. And I saw the post the other day about them both working, so I love that too. You got them both working, Dad.
Yeah, the older daughter obviously is working full time now. She's a tattoo artist, and my younger daughter, they're on summer break from high school, so she got a job at an ice cream stand because she needs to pay for that, put gas in that car that she drives around. So
nice.
Yeah, we're doing something right, I think.
Yeah, man. You definitely are.
I love it,
definitely
dude.
Are.
I love it, man. So let's transition back to your trip down under, man.
Yeah.
What was New Zealand like besides the gig stuff? You're there traveling. What did you do? What's your best downtime experience down there? Something cool.
Oh man, unfortunately we didn't have a lot of downtime because I was working for Yamaha and for Ampeg, and most of my trip was in Auckland, so I really didn't get to explore the two islands. But I got to tell you, man, it's laid back. The people are so polite. The city of Auckland is just absolutely beautiful. It's clean and beautiful. It's a port city, so it's right on the water. And from what they tell me, like I was even joking with our host there and saying, so, I'm expecting to see some like Lord of the Rings stuff here. What's up with this? And they even said this, man, if you even go like an hour south of the city through the North Island and then into the South Island, it really is Lord of the Rings, the rest of the island. And they were telling me it's like all of New Zealand has the population, I forget how they described it, but it's basically the population of, I want to say 2 million people. The entire country of New Zealand is like 2 or 3 million people. I could have my stats wrong here, but it was like this huge landmass with not a lot of people living in it.
Right.
And it was just, yeah. So my downtime was really just sampling some local craft beers and enjoying some cuisine and hanging out with my coworkers.
Oh, cool. What kind of food? What kind of good food did you run into unexpectedly?
Well, you know, a lot of it. It's funny because a lot of it is kind of Americanized. There's burgers and steaks and things like that. I was expecting to have a kangaroo stew or something.
Yeah, right.
But
awesome.
No, it was, just I think the first night we were there, we found this burger joint that was probably one of the best cheeseburgers I've ever had. Which is, I don't know if anything was necessarily indigenous or local cuisine, but there's a lot of great restaurants in Auckland too. So if you're a foodie, there's great places to go eat.
Was there any beer there called Vicks?
I don't remember if there was or not.
Because that's like the big beer there, man.
Okay. Yeah, I don't recall.
That means you had too many.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was just thinking you know what, now that you mentioned it, I don't recall many of the beers I did have.
Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah, really, I'm back. Oh, man. So that was my first trip to New Zealand, and then Australia. We spent a couple of days in Sydney, and then a few days in Melbourne. I've been to Australia several times, and man, if I had the opportunity to move, not that I don't love where I'm at now, but if I ever had to move someplace, that's probably where I would end up. It's just that beautiful.
Wow. So we should all visit at one point in our lives. We should make the trek.
Absolutely. Anybody that's listening, boy, put it on your bucket list. It's a heck of a flight from where we are.
Yeah.
It's 6 hours to San Fran and then another 13, 14 hours across the Pacific. So
yeah, I can't do it.
That's
not
brutal.
an easy flight.
No. That's a brutal one, man.
Yeah.
But worth it.
Yeah, definitely worth it. Absolutely.
So Sydney over Melbourne or Melbourne over Sydney?
I think I like Melbourne over Sydney because it has a little more of a European flair to it. The architecture is a little more European, and I think the cultures are a little more diverse in Melbourne. So yeah, I'd probably take Melbourne over Sydney.
Okay,
all right.
It'd be a tough choice, but I think Melbourne would win out.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
That's great information, man.
It was a cool trip.
Thanks for sharing that with us.
I watched
and
all the
you
posts.
were pretty well received over there. From what I saw.
Yeah, like I said, I did a pretty big clinic at one of the local stores in New Zealand, the Rock Shop there, and then we were actually doing some. There's the company that we were training is actually called Yamaha Music Australia, and they're our distributors over in Australia. So we went down there to kind of bring them up to speed on all the Ampeg gear. So that was part of my gig, was to go down there and train them on Ampeg products.
That's kind of cool, man. You're setting up the country's distribution system of products, man. That's actually really cool. I live a distribution world in my day gig, so to hear you talk like that's pretty cool, because not only are you out there gigging with the stuff, you're actually setting up the channels of distribution of the gear. This is cool.
Yeah.
That's just fun to me. So, hey, we won't keep you much longer, Dino, and we're going to do a different take on our signature question for you since you're a repeat offender.
Oh, no.
So we're going to do a different take, and I think it's going to be kind of cool. We're going to call it best bass or worst bass. You can answer in any order you like, but you got to answer both. So over your whole playing career, what is your most favorite bass, and what was your worst bass?
Oh, man. My best bass that I ever played, does it have to be one that I owned, or just the best bass I've ever played?
Yeah, you had to own it.
Oh, dang. Oh, I was going to say the best bass I ever played was one of my teacher's old German flatbacks, because I'm an upright player.
Okay.
The best bass I ever owned, man.
It's ticking.
Yeah, you're killing me on this one.
I love it. I love it.
Did you not send him this question, or are you throwing him on the spot?
No,
right?
I sent it.
No, he sent it to me. I'm being coy, but
I know.
the best bass I ever played. I'm going to be very PC, politically correct on this one, because I don't want to offend any of my current bass sponsors.
Oh, I got you.
No, honestly, I got to say, it was maybe not necessarily physically, but spiritually, the best bass I ever played was the first bass my dad ever bought me, and it was literally an old Fender Precision.
Oh,
yeah, I got to say that that's what put me where I am today. If it wasn't for that particular bass, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So I got to give credit to that one particular instrument.
I love that answer, Dino. I love Fender basses, man. Damn,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I've played a lot of great basses. I own a lot of great basses, but that's, spiritually and physically and inspirationally, that's probably the best bass I've ever played.
And the best part is your dad bought it for you, man.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? That's the best part.
Yep, exactly. That really was the best part. Unfortunately, I don't own that bass. I ended up selling it to buy other basses, but I'm on all the used bass channels and Craigslist and eBay, and to this day, I still scour the internet looking for that bass.
Do you know the serial number?
I don't.
Oh, wow.
I don't. I was probably, at that point in time, I was probably 14 or 15. And I remember I sold it. I sold it for a Gibson Victory Artist, because I thought that was the cool bass of the time. And it was a great bass, but I'm still kicking myself in the butt for selling that old Precision.
Yeah.
I got a couple regretful sells too, Dino, so don't feel too bad, buddy.
I think we all do.
Right. Trust me, life happens, man.
Yeah.
What was the worst bass, though?
Yeah, what's the worst?
The worst bass I ever played is the one I'm not playing right now. How's that?
Yeah! I love it.
Mind blown. You blew our minds, man.
I dig it.
See, you did give me the questions ahead of time. I had to prep for that one.
You are. This is why we love having you on this show, man.
I love it, man.
You fit right in with our humor, man. You're great.
That's awesome.
Now, before we let you go, I'm gonna ask you a repeat question from the first time you were on.
Okay.
And that question was not on any sheet or pre-prepped or anything.
Okay.
I asked you last time, have you met Geddy Lee? Okay, so my question is, have you met Geddy Lee since we talked last?
I have not.
What are you waiting on?
Christmas.
And I still don't own his book either, the bass book.
Whoa.
Yeah.
He did a signing deal through New Jersey. Did you go to that thing or whatever he had?
No. I don't know what my problem is.
If you send me some swag, I'll send you that book.
You're on. What size do you wear?
Large. But I want like a poster or something to hang on the wall too, man.
No,
and I'll hook you up. I'll send you that book first class mail.
You're on. I'll send you some stuff.
I love it.
I'll send you some stuff. Yeah, no, I haven't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's holding me back. I haven't. The opportunity just hasn't presented itself yet.
I understand. Yeah, I just had to ask because when we first had you on, I asked that question. You were talking about I was going to sneak this into somebody. Oh, can you give this to Geddy? And I just love that story, and I just had to ask it again for fun.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
I'll never forget that. It was just I loved it.
Maybe if Geddy's listening, he'll reach out to me. Dino at Ampeg.
Well, do you have a question for Geddy? Because he's on next week.
Oh.
Is he really?
No, that's us. That's
can you
us
slip
getting
him a book for me?
That's how I was going to send you the book.
Right.
Is he seriously on next week?
No, man.
Not next week, but in the future.
Yeah.
Man.
The agency surprisingly doesn't return my phone calls. It's a mystery, but I kind of get it.
So it's not just you; it's all of us.
I was going to say, he's a very private person, from what I understand, so don't take it personally.
I don't. It's all good.
That was fun. That was so much fun right there. That was great. He said, "Are you serious?" Having fun with Dino Monoxelos tonight, man.
Yeah,
this
the
is great.
Guitar Gurus, man. This is great. Dino, man, this was an awesome catching up interview with you, man. I'm going to reach out to you again in a couple months and get you back on and then check back in and see what's happening again, if that's cool with you.
Anytime. You're always welcome to call me and we can chat.
Perfect, man. And you know, the next time you're coming through the Mid-Atlantic area, man, hit us up for that dinner. We're gonna do it.
You know I will.
Dinner
Absolutely.
and cigars at my place, man.
Right.
Yeah.
You're on.
We're on.
You're on.
Yep.
Perfect. Well,
Very
Dino,
cool.
this is cool, man. From the Southern Maryland Guitar Gurus, we say thank you and good night, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
All
Y'all
right.
have a good night.
You too, Dino.
All right,
All
man.
right.
Peace.
Peace.
Wow.
We love Dino, man.
Dude, that was awesome, dude.
Dino's our guy here, man. Just, and I'll tell you the truth. If anybody's listening, about 5 or 6 years ago, I spent a little bit of time researching which way I wanted to go with my gear, and I watched a lot of YouTube videos that Dino did for Ampeg. It made me go that way with Ampeg. He explained everything so perfectly.
Right.
We've seen him in clinics. We met him, watched him give a clinic.
I'll never.
Amazing.
Dude, that clinic.
That
was
guy knows
amazing.
his stuff, man.
Dude, that was one of the most professional clinics I've ever been to.
Wasn't it?
Dude, it was perfect.
He's got his prize Lakeland bass.
Right.
And he let like a 9 or 10-year-old kid come up, put it on, and he showed him. He took the time and showed him thing. And that it changed
man.
it set that kid on a course. I guarantee it.
Dude, like I said, that's the best one I've ever seen of those clinics, and I used to host them.
Right.
So I've seen them many, and that was the best one ever.
Dino is a first-class guy.
Oh, dude, in first class all the way. We love the relationship with him in our show. It's working out great. We got the Summer NAMM sneak preview.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and I
You're
love
not gonna find that.
I can't tell you. That means there's good stuff coming.
Dude, that's the best indicator that you could hear.
Yep.
It's sometimes if they're willing to tell you everything that's coming out, that means there's no news.
Yeah, they're scrambling like, oh, we got this and this.
But no, when you hear it, hey, dude, I can't talk about it, that means something huge is coming, and that means don't screw with me with it yet. But when it does come out, I got you.
Yep.
And I'm sure we'll be checking in September-ish, October-ish again with him, and I'm sure he'll have something else to tell us about that.
I know he will.
Because they'll be starting up the promotion machine.
Yeah.
So,
Dino, you didn't scare us off, buddy.
Nope. We'll be checking back in soon, man.
Yeah, man.
So, dude, hey, before we take a break and get reset back up, why don't you just knock out the 2 for Tuesdays?
Yeah, let's do some housekeeping here.
Housekeeping number 1.
My favorite part of the show. I love our guests and I love their time they spend with us, but I love the 2 for Tuesday shoutouts. It's my favorite part because without you guys, none of this is possible. And no matter how long we're running or what our time is, we're always going to do these for you every week.
Perfect, dude.
All right,
Knock it out
2
the
for
park.
Tuesday shoutouts. Brought to you by the Southern Maryland Guitar Guru Show.
Sponsorships available.
All right, that's right. Episode 32. We've got David Higgins, Karen Buckler, Tim Elder, Tom Mays, John Lusky, J.C. Moore, Trish Galliano, Angie Walker, Brent Robbins, Jane Swift, Rick Curl, Aaron Fox. I hope I didn't read this ahead of time. I think that's right.
Right.
Billy Sprouse, yeah. Michael Trujillo, Bradley Baker, the St. Mary's County Arts Council, yeah. Vernon Smith, Justin Baker, And that is our list on episode 32, for Tuesday Shoutouts. I want to give a special shout out. I usually do this at the end real quick to Rob Cord for being gracious last weekend and just being there when we needed him, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, and shout out to Mr. Weaver on that sick guitar playing.
Derek Weaver.
Yeah, man, dude,
I just met him Saturday.
Yeah. Well, dude,
that guy. I love his personality. He's great.
Dude, I'm thinking I'm gonna book both of those dudes at the same time.
Should.
That's a double book that we need.
Yeah, let's do that.
And dude, them dudes are cool, man.
Yeah.
And definitely big shout out to them two guys.
Yeah.
They brought the house down, dude. Dude, Derek's awesome, man, and I actually sold him a pedal.
Yeah.
But we got a relationship before that,
right?
So it was really cool. So
I liked him off the break when I walked up to introduce myself, and he goes, "I know who you are."
Right.
I was like, "Yeah, great guy." Rob Cord, Derek Weaver, special shout out. Thank you guys.
Right. So let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
We'll come back, do Guitar of the Week, then get Andrew on the phone, and see what happens after that. What do you think?
It's perfect.
Cool.
Then we're in the home stretch of episode 32.
Yeah, Southern Maryland Guitar Guru Show with Dan and Dan. We'll be right back.
This is Gene Quaid with the Sam Brew Band. You're listening to the Southern Maryland Guitar Guru Show.
The Southern Maryland Guitar Gurus, the only guys that would do a live broadcast from Dogpatch. We see each other through different eyes.
I swear one day we're going to do a show in Dogpatch. I swear.
I would hope so, because every sounder on this has been that one.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm throwing it out there, man. It's a good one.
We're going to do it, man. We're on the side of the road at that 5-way stop.
Exactly. But we need good power. That goes back to the earlier. So
anybody want to donate a generator?
Well, a couple. With just some voltage regulations and whatnot.
That was very awesome to throw out. You covered the whole gamut of the Sam Grove Band with Mike and Gene and Joe. And
yeah,
it's great
I'm
hearing
showing
all
them
those
some
guys.
love, man.
Yeah, we should, man.
Yeah, man, they're good dudes.
Dudes.
And they're out there supporting us.
Yeah.
And they made those for us. So I'm
right.
throwing it out there, man. I'm going to edit it up real cool, I think.
I know you will.
So it'll be real cool when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
So, dude, let's talk Guitar of the Week. Island Music. Guitar of the Week, man. It's the Fender Ritchie Coaten Telecaster, man. Two-tone sunburst with a maple fingerboard.
Fingerboard.
Yeah, man. Dude, this baby, man, was special this week.
Yeah.
Man. It was real cool.
Beautiful.
Got to relive some big moments from Poison and Mr. Big.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just jam it out and just relive it.
Did you play like Every Rose Has Its Thorn or something?
I won't disclose what I did, but I had fun and got to check out the guitar.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, man. So I wrote some stuff about it, and it's just an amazing vintage telly, man. It's got that sound of that vintage telly sound to it.
Yeah.
Two-tone sunburst. It's got killer lead sounds too, man. For telly, dude, it was on point. And the neck of it was real thick. It had that what I call a baseball bat feel.
Oh yeah, like a D-neck kind of thing.
Yeah, man, it was real cool. Gold hardware. It was really special. The pictures, you saw the pictures.
I think it was beautiful, man.
It's a solid body electric guitar. It's got buttery, playable, outrageously toneful, and it's easy on your eyes. That's how I could describe the guitar.
All right.
What's your favorite Poison song?
Oh, I don't have one. Sorry. Yeah, I thought you were going to get me, but you didn't.
You know you do.
Yeah, I love them all. I can't pick one. Just kidding.
But, dude, it's got the Marzio pickups in this thing.
Okay, that's
all right?
good, yeah.
Okay, so you're talking the Chopper T for the bridge. The choppers, I have some Chopper DiMarzio pickups in one of my Strats. And the only difference between that and that is just the plate that it sets in to lock it into the guitar. But it's the same pickup.
All right.
That's why it says T for Telecaster. Because the way that the bridge pickup locks into the plate, it comes on a special thing. Whereas the single coil pickup, you just swap in and out.
All right, okay.
But the choppers are awesome. That's where it gets its lead magic, man. So that's cool. And then in the neck, it's got the Twang King.
Yeah, the Twang King.
And that gold finish, so it goes right along with it, man. It's real cool. What's really cool is the saddles were gold and the screws were black. So it really made it nice and finished.
Okay.
It wasn't just silver.
The aesthetics were
killer, man.
Killer, yeah.
I mean, that's why you're buying this guitar. You see it, you're like, okay, it's that guy's. This is cool. It looks great. I can play it. It sounds awesome. And it's a made in Japan Fender, too. So that adds to it. That was why I geeked out about it. I love Japanese Fenders.
Yeah.
You know, and it's at that price point where it's not American price, but it's still a little bit pricey. But it's fine at $14.99. It's a good guitar for made in Japan. And it's actually a large C profile neck, not a D, a C. But it's big, man. I'm telling you. It's not like a shredder neck. It's not like last week's guitar. It's totally different.
Okay.
Totally different experience. But it works, if that makes sense. I had no problem adjusting to it. It's got a 12-inch radius with 22 frets, too. Rotary series / parallel switch is that one knob. So it's got a volume knob, and that other knob is that switch. So it's kind of geeked out, hidden out. You just switch it. That's pretty cool. The tech specs are as follows. Solid body shapes Telecaster. It's right-handed, 6 strings. It's got a ash body with a flame maple top, a urethane finish. It's a natural finish. The neck material's maple bolt-on, large C profile, 12-inch radius, inlay dots, abalone, 22 frets, 25.5-inch scale length, and the nut width is 1.65 inches. Synthetic bone nut, and a 6 saddle, strings through body, and the strings go through the body, so it adds the sustain and all that good stuff. So it's not like, you see what I'm saying, Dan?
I do.
Right. And like I said, the neck pickup is that DiMarzio Twang King swing single coil, and the bridge pickup is the Chopper T humbucker. And it's a great guitar, man. Played fast, even with that neck like that. But I like necks like that, so not everybody does.
Right.
So that's why I want to stress that's what that kind of. It's got that old school Telecaster neck, which I can rip on. I like it. I really do.
Yeah.
I had fun with it, man. I'm telling you, man. All week long, it was good stuff.
Yeah, you get the good part, man. You get to play with all these guitars every week.
Like, photoing them and doing all that comes first.
Well, of course, you do the work, but then
yeah, right. You
can't tell me you don't plug it in and play the thing.
Oh, you gotta play it. You gotta play it, or why would we do the segment?
Right.
And that leads me to tell the audience, the listeners that are hearing this, go to the store, ask to see the guitar of the week, check it out, play it in store. If you are a shredder, try that neck out just for a different experience. Yeah. And then write us in about it. Tell us what you thought about it.
Right.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, give us some input.
But we might call you. Talk about it.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a tease. You go to the Island Music, ask to see the guitar of the week, snap a picture of you trying it out, give us your 2 cents on it. We might call you.
Yeah.
And have you on the show and talk about it. That's another way to get you in the store and check it out.
There you go.
Because they're not going to tell you you can't check it out. It's not like the old school days at HLGS.
Yeah. They want you to come in and play these guitars because they want you to buy these guitars.
Right, but
so
check
play
them
them
out.
all to see what fits your style and your comfortability. And there you go.
But all in all, the Fender Ritchie Kotzen Telecaster was an awesome guitar.
Yeah.
If you're in the market and tellies are your thing, and you're looking for that different telly that not everybody has, this is right up your alley.
All right.
You know, that's what I'm trying to describe that market. Or if you're a big Poison fan, big Mr. Big fan, or you're just a big Ritchie fan, you know, and you want to have it for your personal collection, I get it. It's available. Go to Island, check it out. You might take it home. I would, but I got to all of them. I'm full. I'm out.
Full. There's no more room left in here.
Right, I know, man. It's getting crowded with all the swag coming in from all the guys. But no, dude, guitar of the week this week. My hat's off to Island. I can't wait to see what happens this week. And we'll see what goes from there, man.
Yeah, get over there, check it out, ask for the guitar of the week, play it,
enjoy it, and maybe take it home if you like it.
Yeah.
Cool. Good deal. Well, let's transition out of that and talk about our last guest, Mr. Andrew McSpadden from McSpadden Guitars. He's over in Calvert County.
Let's do it.
He's a builder and a repair guy, so he does both. And he's got a cool backstory. So we're going to talk to him. We're going to dial him up on the Ollie's Bar and Grill soundstage phone system and get it cranking. What do you think?
Ready.
Let's crank
Let's get
up.
it on.
Give me some soothing tones while I get the phone system
Soothing
cranking.
Tones. Brought to you by the SOMDGGS. You know what that means.
It's ringing. The mojo is happening. Let's see. Come on, Andrew. There he is.
Good evening, McSpadden Guitars.
Hey, is Andrew in?
This is he.
Andrew, it's Dan from the Guitar Gurus. You want to go on the air?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Awesome, man. Well, I got your mic hot. You're in the studio. I got my co-host, Dan Albin, here. Dan Albin, say hi to Andrew.
Andrew, good evening to you. How are you, buddy?
Real good, sir. How you?
I'm great, man. Thanks for spending time with us tonight.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure.
Nice.
Well, dude, I take it you've checked our show out. You see how the format goes. I've sent you emails. Our first question is always about your background and my little bit of investigating on you, man. Your background's pretty cool. So if you would bring my listeners up to speed real quick, give us a quick Cliff Noted kind of story about how you came into the business.
Oh, how I came into the business? Sure. I made my first guitar when I was 17. And I was lucky enough after that to be able to start working at PRS when I finished high school, which was a great experience. I did that for about 4 or 5 years, I believe, just before they moved over the bridge to Stevensville.
Okay.
Then shortly, not terribly long after that, I guess maybe a year after that, I moved to California to help start a small acoustic guitar factory called Charles Fox Guitars. And I did that, lasted for I think about another 5 years, and then I moved into the lutherie supply business, about selling wooden tools to people who make musical instruments, all the while running my own repair business.
Oh.
And 2 or 3 years ago, family obligations brought me back to Maryland, and I'm starting my business back up again, repairing guitars, building guitars, and custom pickups.
That's awesome, man. That's real cool.
Yeah, I'm real lucky. PRS was when I wanted to start making guitars, there was, you practically had to move to California to do it. But then I found out about PRS, and it was an amazing period in their company's history, and I was incredibly lucky to work there.
Right. And that was like your stepping stone into the market.
Yeah, exactly. And I learned so much from Paul, from the whole experience generally. But Paul was really available as well, and he was such a smart guy and knew so much about guitars, and obviously has an incredible product, and came in the business at the right time with a wonderful product, and now he obviously has a ton of success. So that's great. It was great.
That's awesome, man. So let's talk about your business, man. You're doing mostly repairs these days and then one-off instruments as the orders come in. How does that work?
That's right. Usually, I do a lot of repair work, and the custom instruments usually comes out of my repair work. Usually, I get a customer and they really like what I do, and they start to wrap their head around getting something made for them that really fits them. And that's a great process to help shepherd somebody through and then realize that they've gotten a great instrument that they never thought could be as personalized as it is.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So the process, if you don't mind me asking, if someone came in, what's the total turnaround time from initial consultation to finished guitar?
So if you're talking about an electric guitar, you're probably talking about a month and a half, simply because the finish time is a lot of that. I have to let the finish cure, and I usually let it happen for about 20 days.
Okay.
An acoustic can probably be about 3 months.
All right. Wow. So And a lot of that is this process of like letting adhesives dry, finishes dry, and stuff like that, and a lot of downtime, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of glue drying and downtime, and a lot of letting things acclimate. I have to allow a little time, since we are in Maryland, an incredibly humid place.
Yep.
When you glue any two things together, they have to be at the same humidity level, and you don't want it to change while you're building the instrument, because you don't want to introduce any tension into it. I'm talking especially with acoustic instruments. That's even more important. And it just takes a little while, and I usually am faster than that, but I like to allow that kind of time frame.
Yeah, that's the expansion and contraction. There's a bit of that, right?
Yeah, and it's a real problem here. I mean, I lived for 20 years in California, but here in Maryland, where you're here, it's it can be incredibly muggy.
Yeah.
And then incredibly hot and dry, and then when you make that really quick transfer from a wet, humid fall to a dry winter, people don't realize that guitars are made out of a living tissue. They want to expand and contract constantly.
Right.
And that period of November to January, I get a lot of cop cracks as repairs coming in to be repaired, because people suddenly turn their heat on, and that doubly sucks all the moisture out of the air, and the guitars just go ow. They have to relieve that tension somehow.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize it, man. They need to educate themselves.
Yeah,
they really do.
Yeah, get a dampener or a Kaiser humidity thing for your sound holes for your acoustic instruments. They will thank you, and so will your wallet.
Oh, that's good information right there.
Right. So let's talk repair business, man. So it sounds like your repair business is bustling. So
that's been my main business for a long time, because I really enjoy the problem solving part of it. Okay. And it's more immediate. I get to meet more people that way, and I get to work on all these different kinds of instruments, see what works, see what doesn't work, meet different kinds of players, different kinds of styles. So when I do get somebody that wants a custom instrument, I've gotten a lot of feedback from players in general, but even from them specifically, because they've probably, if they're coming to me for an instrument, they've probably gotten repair work done by me. Unless it's something spec that I built just because I wanted to and hung in a store.
I got you. Do you keep a stock of materials at your place, or as people come in and order it, you order it? How does that work?
Oh no, I got a nice little wood library. All the years I spent in the supply part of the business, I was a hoarder. When something really good came in, I bought it. And I've got a basement full of material that I pull from, figured maples and rosewoods, and I've got probably 50 back and side sets downstairs, and probably just as many acoustic guitar tops. And I know, and if I do have to get a request for something that I don't have, I can go to the West Coast or call a supplier from the West Coast and get it, usually pretty quickly. And that would add to the delays. Like if I needed a top that I didn't have.
Right.
I want to bring that here and let that sit here for probably at least 3 or 4 months at the bare minimum.
Wow.
Just to settle. And it depends on the time of year. I have to constantly dehumidify my shop is my home and my basement. So I have a dehumidifier running there constantly, 365.
Wow, that's awesome, man. I need to come check it out, man.
Yeah, that'd be great, man.
Oh yeah, you guys come up. I'm right by the 2-4 split in Huntingtown.
Oh yeah, I know where that is. Perfect. Good stuff.
And I'm really glad. I'm really surprised. I thought about this the other day as I was driving through Waldorf. When I was a teenager and coming down to Hot Licks, which was the closest reasonably stocked store around. We're talking the late 80s. Man, Southern Maryland has exploded.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
There's so many more people here. There's so many more venues, so many more musicians. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Dude, we got something happening down here in Southern Maryland with the local musicians. That's what made me and Mr. Albin here start the show, because we wanted to make a platform for all these guys and gals out here putting in the work to have a place to promote their band and brand.
Right.
And now that we're getting the you guys involved, the builders, the luthiers, the guys that make the instruments, that's even adding more flair to it. So it's all really cool.
Yeah, I was really happy when I first heard about the podcast, and I came back a couple of years ago and found out that the island music had sprung up in the meantime. That's fantastic. I used to have to go to Hot Licks or all the way up to Venomins or Chuck Levin's.
Right.
Yep.
And now you just pop over to Waldorf and, they've got everything you could possibly want.
Exactly, man. That's why they're part of our show, dude. I do the Guitar of the Week with them. And this week's we did a Fender Richie Coates and Telecaster, man. It was pretty cool.
That's got to be nice.
Yeah, I've been just playing so many different guitars lately. It's just unreal. It's unreal, man.
Yeah, no kidding. They've got a great selection there, and there's other stores around too that are. There's J-Paz in Sunderland. That is a nice little mom and pop music store as well. I think John Posner worked at Island for a while with Keith, and there's just a lot more happening than there was when I was getting out of high school.
Yeah. All those years ago, right?
Exactly, and now with technology, we're able to have things like this podcast, and for people to rally around and people to group around and really get all their information from one source that's local, that wants to stay local and promote local, and that's just fantastic.
We love it.
We love doing the show, man.
The community is great, man.
Yeah, we grew up wanting to be radio DJs. We took this opportunity and ran with it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's great. Look what technology has afforded us now. It's the best time for musicians in a way, and kind of the worst.
It's never been easier to get your band and brand out, but it's just hard to stay relevant in the ever-changing 24/7 media cycle.
Exactly. There's an onslaught of it, and it's hard. Unfortunately, some of the best stuff just gets
buried.
Missed.
Yeah, missed and buried.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now we have you guys to bring it all to the forefront.
Hey man, we can only do what we can do, but we're doing it well.
You're doing a great job, and I really appreciate what you do.
Well, thank you, Andrew. We appreciate that, man. So with you giving us that excellent compliment, which we appreciate, we really do. Let's compliment you here, man. You're building great pieces. You're building great guitars.
I'm trying.
But but you love it. You love it. Do you not?
Yeah, I mean, I've ventured into other things simply by happenstance over the course of my life, but I always come back to it because once you got the bug, or just like becoming a musician, I'm not a great musician, but once it's in you and once it's what you do, and there's nothing better than solving somebody's problem.
Yeah.
And letting them make more music easier and better. That's the best part of it all.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah, man.
That's great.
What's one of your frustrations in the music industry? If you had a magic wand, you could change one thing, what would you change? I always like asking this because it's such a fairy tale scenario. I just like everybody's brains just thinking about it.
It's an interesting time in MI. I mean, just most recently with the whole Gibson lawsuit situation, and I wish that was. I hope they handle that. Differently. They've been, and that's not a new thing for Gibson. They've been hitting individual small makers for years, having lawyers send them cease and desist letters, and never following up, just trying to sort of scare and bully people. And I thought with Henry Juskowitz being out of the situation, that would stop. But we'll see. With MI in general, I hate to criticize an industry as a whole, but I have to say I don't think they've done a great job of marketing to women. And I wish they'd done I wish they'd gotten involved earlier, done a better job, promoted female-oriented bands or female-fronted bands, female guitar players. It seems like they're playing catch-up, and it seems like a desperate effort. I mean, it's better than nothing, by far.
Yeah.
But, it's better to correct a mistake later in the game than never. But You know, at my business level, I'm sort of out of MI. I'm sort of out of the mainstream of the MI business. I don't do trade shows. I don't advertise except locally. And, you know, having brushed with that when I worked at Charles Fox Guitars and going to NAMM shows and things like that, it's a difficult, bustling business. And guitars are better than they've ever been.
Right.
As, you know, it's Asian guitars, you know, I can't knock it. They're infinitely better made than they used to be. And I'm so glad that beginners now can get a nice looking, reasonably well playing guitar for not a lot of money.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. I would have loved to have, you know, my first guitar was a cheap Memphis that weighed a ton and played terribly. But now you can get, you know, for a few $100s, you can get a really reasonably made guitar that will last you a little while. And that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But there's billions of them now.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, good for the market, good for those businesses. But do the follow up and help promote the art of learning music as well.
Right.
I hope they would put some of their, you know, Fender seems to be trying to do that, but you know, I wish they'd make a lot more effort into promoting the learning of the instruments as well, because that's where their customer base is going to come from 10, 15, 20 years from now.
Sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you know, and I do see the more clinics coming around, and I think that's a good thing too. And I think they need to more focus on that.
That would be good. That would be nice. I'd like to see more of that.
Exactly, man. So, what's your current guitar that you're playing on? So tell us about you, man. What do you like to play? What do you play on? How's your amps? What pedals do you have? What makes you excited to play?
I'm still playing on the first electric guitar I made in high school.
Yeah.
Everything else I've made for myself, at some point, somebody comes along and buys it from me.
All right.
But this I won't sell. It's a sort of Strat style guitar, and I just recently repainted it because over the years it's been my sort of mule, you know, stick different pickups in to try, and it's been my Frankenstein for experiments.
Right.
And so I finally said, well, I'm going to give it a fresh new paint job. It hadn't been painted since I had it repainted at PRS 25 years ago, I guess. And, you know, restock looking, got my own pickups in it with a 2-point Fulcrum hip shot bridge. My acoustic is the first acoustic I ever made for myself. I was working at Charles Fox Guitars, and I finally said, I've got to make one of my own in my own shop. And I was so pleased with it, I've never even thought about selling it or getting rid of it. And so just a dreadnought style with some beautiful Madagascar rosewood back and sides and Adirondack top. And I love it to death. And those are the only two guitars I've kept over the years. Amps, I've wanted to get a good amp for a long time, and I keep procrastinating because I'm going to build myself one someday.
Right.
But I will say I do have my shop amp is a little Yamaha THR-10C, one of the little digital amp modeling boxes.
It looks like a radio. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a radio, and digital technology is amazing. This amp does everything. It has a tuner in it, great sounds, nice small format for me to put on top of my bench or take up, you know, back into the house to play on. Really sounds good. Really, really sounds good. I mean, obviously wouldn't take it gigging anywhere, but I don't really play out very much anymore. So that's the gear I'll probably have forever. I do really want to make myself another acoustic and another electric, so we'll see how the schedule goes.
Let me help you out when you do it, man. Let me give you a little influence on material choices.
No problem, man. I'll have you sanding all day long.
I dig it, man. I want to learn. Shit. Why not? Why not, man? Come on.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Hey, just a little bit of elbow grease and some blood and water, you'll get it done.
That's right. It'll eventually turn out.
Well, cool, man. We got one more question for you, then we'll let you get back to building. We definitely appreciate your time tonight, and
no problem.
And welcome to the show. So we'll have your information, and we'll definitely check back in with you in a couple months and see what's happening in your world. So we're not going to give up on you. So don't worry there.
No worries, man.
Cool. So we call this best gig, worst gig. You can answer in any order you like, but you got to answer both questions. So I don't know if you have a lot of big stage experience. So if you can't do the stage, you can do your employment history.
Yeah.
I'll do gigs.
Sweet.
All right, great.
I've been thinking about best and worst of a lot of things today.
All right.
But I'll do my gigs. I'll do my worst first. This is in California. I'm a young man at this point.
All right.
And buddy calls me up and says, "Hey, learn these 2 songs. There's a little art showcase thing we're going to do in town." So like, great. Learn the 2 songs. He calls me up. I do the 2 songs. And then he says, "Now we're going to do another song." I didn't plan on a 3rd song. I didn't know the 3rd song, especially when we started playing it. I believe it was like a Sting song that I'd never heard before. And I'm not I tried to do my best to kind of add little fills and fake it, but it was a disaster.
Okay.
And I think I was clearly kind of panicking. And that's, all in all, not a terrible story. But it's who was in the audience that makes it awful.
Right.
In the front 3 rows were filled with a group of beautiful belly dancers.
Damn.
The venue was like a block from my house. These were all, a lot of these girls lived in town. So it was just like, you had to make me look like a fool in front of, 30 beautiful women.
Yep.
I hope that maybe doesn't make me sound like a pig, but that was probably the worst gig I ever had.
No, that's a bad gig, man.
That's a bad one.
And the best gig I ever had, my friend Wayne, who's from Ireland, I met him when I lived in California. He had moved back to Ireland, and he was kind of a local, a big musician locally before he'd moved to America. And he taught a lot of the local kids how to play guitar who were now kind of adults. So a lot of people sort of looked up to him kind of as a father figure to some degree, the very tight-knit communities in Ireland. And he hadn't played out any, but I was coming to visit. And so he decided to actually do a show. So it was kind of it's almost like a welcome home Wayne. So everybody in town turned out from, a lot of people flew in, actually. And he brought me up for a couple of songs. And it was a beautiful old venue in Ireland, and everybody was so happy to see him and see him back performing. It was just a great night to be a part of. I know that doesn't translate well to other people, but it was a special, emotional night. And I think that was probably the best gig I ever played.
Got it, man. That's cool. That's real cool, man. Awesome, man. Well, Andrew, man, this was a fantastic spot. I really enjoyed learning about your background, your company, and dude, I'm excited to come check out your shop one day soon.
Anytime, just give me a ring, man.
I will, dude. I will. And maybe, man, one day we might get together and do something. I don't know. I got to figure some stuff out, but I definitely want to check your shop out. I got to geek out.
No problem, man. And if any of your listeners want to check me out, you can find me at McSpadden Guitars on Facebook or McSpaddenGuitars.com. You can send me an email through there, and my phone number is listed on the website.
Perfect, man.
We love it.
Dude, well, thank you again for coming on, man. So from Southern Maryland Guitar Guru Show, we say good night, brother.
Good night. Take care, guys.
All right, man, bye.
Thank you.
Cool dude, man.
Yeah, he's got his mind right. He knows.
Yeah. He's got it going on, man. Check his site out, dude. I did. It's pretty cool. I can't wait. I'm going to go check it out, man.
Yeah, we should go check it out.
Soon enough, man.
Document it a little bit. Maybe with some videos. See that process, because I know he works hard.
Yeah, man. Definitely, dude. But, dude, it's been a make-a show.
It's been a big one.
It has. And, dude, we're coming up on 2 hours and 23 minutes, 24 minutes. So,
whoa.
Dude, it's been insane. We hit all the home runs. We did our housekeeping. But before we go, thank you to Spoon's Barbecue again. The meal was fantastic. We're going to work with them to have something happen there soon, you said. So
It's in the works.
It's in the works, so stay tuned
we'll keep
for
you
that.
posted.
Ollie's Bar and Grill soundstage phone system's been fantastic tonight. They've handled all the calls with dignity and grace.
Yes.
And it's been awesome, man. Isla Music, the guitar of the week, the Fender, Richie Kotzen Telecaster. It was awesome, man. Good stuff.
Incredible night.
Yeah, man.
Let's thank our regulars first.
Yeah, exactly. David Higgins.
Higgy on the beat.
Higgy on the beat. Southern Maryland Chronicle. Go check it out, man. And the new website's awesome. It's fast.
Yeah, he's got the new server integration. So, barrel.
But there's no more BSing.
Yep.
It's time to run. And he's getting hits out the crazy, man. It's insane.
Good. He should. He works hard.
So it's awesome. So there it is. Shout out to them. Then Sean in 60 seconds.
Sean, always.
A little shorter tonight, but we'll get him next week.
Yeah, and he knows that. And he still gave us a lot of information in a short amount of time.
Exactly, man. It's real cool.
Yep.
So, dude, I'm spent, man. It's been a long one. I want to get out of here. I thank all the listeners. Again, thank you guys for tuning in, making the show a reality for us. Without you guys, we're nobody. So
that's right. So let's, real quick. Thank you, William Sanderson. Thank you, Dino Monoxelos. Thank you, Andrew McSpadden.
Yep.
Appreciate everything. Appreciate the listeners. I don't know what else to say.
Episode 32 in the books, brother.
Yeah.
And we're still, the train's rolling, man. And every week it's getting better and better.
Well, yeah, we're heading downhill with no brakes at this point.
Right.
The speed is picking up.
And everybody's jumping on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Guitar Gurus, man. Yeah, we're doing it, man, but we're here for the local guy. We're here for the blue-collar musicians of Southern Maryland. We're going to promote your brand. Your band, your brand. It's all interconnected, and we're your platform of choice to get your message out.
That's right.
We get a lot of views every week, man, so it's the perfect time to get your band out here in the market, and we're here for you guys, man.
That's right.
So contact us, hit us up. You never know, you'll be on the show one day.
You trust me, you've got our full attention if you want to do something.
Yeah, and Mortal
That's
Kombat tournament update.
Oh, update.
Mortal Kombat update. We're still taking registrations to get the locked in spots, but we are gonna take registrations at the show at the time at Ollie's, because I talked to them today, and they do have some regular patrons that want to play. So
okay, well, let's accommodate that.
So we're gonna accommodate it. So we're gonna play it kind of loose. We're gonna play it loose, but we're definitely gonna have the tournament. So send me, if you just definitely want to get your stuff in now, just send me the information.
Yeah, because it'll make it easier to coordinate, the brackets and
all that stuff. So
the logistics.
But we'll deal with that in another time. Right. But I just wanted to put that out there. So
that's great.
It's cool, man. Well, dude, it's Guitar Gurus, Dan and Dan. We're gonna say goodnight, and yeah, man, and dude, what a show tonight, man. It's been just wow.
Yeah.
You're spent, right?
I'm spent. I just want to say goodnight myself. We love you. I love you all. Thank you so much. So I just want to say goodnight.
Good night. It's Guitar Gurus, Dan and Dan.